efficiency rating is about 15 points higher. He has about the same passing yards, 15.22 to 15.27 for Fulmer. So even these great quarterbacks, they're going to be challenged by the wind. I think it's going to come down to the running games and the offensive lines.
Fulmer is obviously the key for Millersville. John Flemish, though, might be the wild card.
Yeah.
He's the hidden quantity here. But not hidden. You know what he can do. He's outstanding, but he's been out for most of the season.
Flemish last year got into this game and just took over. He had 23 carries for 148 yards. He's a bruising fullback who just doesn't go down. I mean, all his carries are 5, 6, 7 yards, and it's that physical toughness that it provides the leadership. But he had it with a great offensive line, and he had it at full health. He wasn't at good health this year. He came back and slowly coming back. They feel he's at about 90. And what he can give this team on the ground, that will be a big factor. He can turn that young offensive line into a much stronger unit with his hard-nosed running. I agree. He's one of the most impressive performers I've ever seen in a game, and that was last year watching him run the ball against the Huskies down at Millersville.
Millersville won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Bloomsburg will get the football, move from our right to our left as we view things here to start the game. The officiating crew, Robert Newberry is the referee, Larry Hayes is the umpire. The linesman, George Geis. James Tucker is the line judge. The field judge is John Loftus. Side judge is Tim Gallagher. Bill Burkheimer is the clock operator. And John Bogar is the 25-second clock operator.
I didn't watch the coin toss quickly, and yet I'm saying that Millersville will have the wind to their advantage. They'll be kicking from left to right. So the Huskies, if they opted to take the ball, or maybe they want the wind in the second quarter, it's hard to say when it's best. But they will be receiving and working into wind here in the first quarter of the game. They're going to have to employ a holder to hold that ball on the tee here on the kickoff.
Andy Rzuski, a veteran out of Bethlehem Liberty, will kick off for Millersville, and this showdown game is underway. With the wind at his back, his kick sails 5, 6, 7 yards deep in the end zone and out of the end zone. So immediately we see the influence of that wind as Bloomsburg will take over the football 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll be going against a Millersville defense that goes with Nick Reynolds, an impact player as a sophomore at a defensive end spot. Jamal Lee, Joe Mitzkis at the tackles, and Jared Tucker at the other end. Middle linebacker Matt Shields, Mike Zellner, and Dave Burkholder are the outside linebackers. Nate Hicks and Jason Matters are the corners. The strong safety, Talib Smith, the free safety, Braden Steffi. 1st and 10 for Bloomsburg. The call goes off the right side to Marcus Glaze, and Glaze gets over the 30 to the 31-yard line for a first down. Talib Smith makes the stop, but a flag down on the play.
Have to see what it is. More toward the center of the play than right at the point of attack, holding against the Huskies. It was a brilliant opening play. Millersville didn't really react to the shift, so the Huskies moved the tight end and wing back to the right side. There's a huge hole on that side, and that's where they attacked. But somewhere on the inside, someone grabs a hold of a player. That should move it back to about the 10-yard line. That makes it all the harder for the Huskies. Situation, we're in this series of downs now with the 1st and 20. You'll need to pass, and you're passing right into that wind, which is going to be very, very challenging.
So a crucial penalty on the first play of the scrimmage for the Huskies. Now they have it at their own 10-yard line with a 1st and 20. Slot to this, the near side of the field. Glaze is the tailback in the I formation. Gets the call again. Tries the right side and picks up about 4 out to the 14-yard line. So it'll be a 2nd down and long for Bloomsburg.
Yeah, running off the right side, basically the same play, but this time Millersville coming up hard. Nick Reynolds plays that defensive end on the left side. He likes to come upfield and make impact plays. On the season, 8 of his 37 tackles have been for losses. But in order to get the person for the loss, you have to be crashing into the backfield. They was hoping he'd run by the play as he did on the first time. 2nd and
16, Bloomsburg. Glaze now the lone running back. A give to him on a delay. Looks for some running room. Gets over the 20 to the 22-yard line. Dave Burkholder, 210-pound sophomore linebacker out of Ephrata, makes the play. But you see just how tough it is to come back from a penalty like that. Huskies do get it out to about the 23-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and 8.
You don't want to punt into this wind. Millersville will get the ball at midfield at the worst, but you don't want to throw into this wind either, and you just ram the draw. They're in shotgun.
Eric Miller has the snap, has some time, fires a quick out, has his man, Rocco Forgione, and gets the first down out at the 35-yard line. Dave Burkholder makes the stop.
Attention going to Lelko on the other side. He looks toward Lelko and then looks off, and comes to Forgione running the square out opposite toward the Husky sideline. Enough for the chase.
12 yards on the reception, 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at their own 35-yard line. After a shift, Brian Sullivan's the tight end on the right side. Glaze is the lone running back. Marcus Glaze gets the call off the right side, gets by one man, turns the corner at the 40, the 45, has the first down up to the 47-yard line. Marcus Glaze running hard, picks up 12, another Bloomsburg first down.
Same play as the opening play, this time no flag for holding. Again, the same shift. Two people from the left, the tight end and the wing back line up on the right. And again, Millersville makes no adjustment. The wide defensive end comes upfield, creating a natural seam, and there's a huge hole, and it's not surprising they get 12 yards on that. I don't like the defensive adjustment. There is none.
Slot to this, the near side of the field, I formation from the 47. Glaze gets the call off the right side, gets over midfield, and knocked out of bounds about the Millersville 46-yard line. Doug Werner, the fullback, leading the way. Dave Burkholder makes the stop again from his linebacker position. But Bloomsburg's offensive front doing the job early, as Glaze will pick up about 6 on that one, 2nd and 4.
Senior Brian Sullivan, tight end on that side. Senior Jeff Smith, senior Manny Henry. Strong running. They're creating that seam. Super blocking.
Slot to the left side, I formation. 2nd down and 4. Huskies in Millersville territory at the 47. Eric Miller gives straight ahead to Marcus Glaze, and he's cut down after maybe a gain of a yard. The free safety, Brandon Steffi, coming in to make the play. Steffi, a redshirt freshman out of Richland, Pennsylvania, 5'11", 180-pounder. All right about the line of scrimmage, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 Huskies at the Marauder 47.
First time the Huskies test straight up the middle. That time Millersville does react well. With the wind, the corners, the safeties have cheated up to within 4 or 5 yards of the ball. Now they're showing a passing look.
3rd and 4, Miller on the run, fires to Loco. Loco makes the grab and gets the first down to the 40-yard line. Mike Loco's first catch of the day. Nate Hicks and Jason Matters, the respective cornerbacks for Millersville, combined on the stop. But Bloomsburg with another 3rd down conversion. 7 yards on the completion, 1st and 10 at the Marauder 40.
Straight to the line of scrimmage. They don't want to see the defensive substitutions coming in. No time to call a defense.
3 receivers to the right. Glaze, the lone running back, from the 40. Give on the delay to Glaze. Flag fly as Marcus Glaze picks up 5 to the 35-yard line.
Don't know if the Huskies were totally set, however. Eric Miller comes to the line. Defense can't call a defense. They line up quickly. Eric Miller looks for the audible. What does he want to run? I think the standard there was to go with the draw if nothing immediate showed itself, and I don't know if the team was set. We do have movement. It is against the Huskies. So nullify the run. We'll see it march back 5. And again, penalties. When you're working into this stiff wind, make it all the harder. You don't have that ease of passing that you normally would have, no matter how talented Eric Miller can be or how great the receivers are in getting open or the use of their hands on the ball. Throwing into the wind causes some problems. The gust of the wind is going to throw it off a little bit. And to assume that the strong running game can make up for these 5-yard penalties or 10-yard penalties, it's a challenge. It's not the mistake that you want to see. But the Huskies hurrying a little bit without the huddle trying to catch Millersville. They caught Millersville, but they caught themselves not being set.
1st down and 15. Bloomsburg at the Millersville 45-yard line. Terrell Johnson wide to the right. Mike Loco wide to the left. I formation now after a shift. Glaze is the lone running back. Werner on a wing to the right side. There's a give to Glaze, and he's hit and barely gets to the line of scrimmage. Millersville comes up with a big defensive play. It's number 50 for the Marauders making the stop. That's Scott Dudley, who's in that lineup now, a freshman, 6'3", 235-pounder. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 15, Bloomsburg, at the Millersville 45.
And Scott Dudley not on our 2 deep, and he's calling defensive signals. I wonder if there was an injury. Normally we're informed when something like that would happen. Sort of playing a middle linebacker look, roving from the middle.
3 receivers to the right side. Rolling Rolling right is Eric Miller. Turns the corner, is going to have to keep the football, and he'll be brought down about the 43-yard line. So he'll pick up about 2 on the play, bring up 3rd down and long. Ray Steffi ran him out across the way. Rocco Forgione comes in as an extra wide receiver, but a very difficult situation here. 3rd down and 13 for Bloomsburg at the Millersville 43. And Eric Miller will have to put it in the air against a very strong wind.
He'll be in shotgun. Might try to throw it short and then run for it after the catch.
Miller has the snap, rolls to his left, fires to the sideline. Forgione makes the catch, doesn't get the first down, held it out of bounds to the 33-yard line. So they'll pick up 10 on the play. An interesting call. 4th down and 3 Bloomsburg. I would see the Huskies going for it here.
You would think so, but with the wind, it's tough. The puck wouldn't get you much. If it does go into the end zone in the wind, it's coming back to the 20. It's only a 13-yard net. So, yes, 4th down play from scrimmage is what you'd like to see. Jim, it's only about 2 yards, and maybe it's short 2 yards at that. Timeout for thinking here.
10:53 to go. Scoreless first quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you very much, Dave. Right here at Redmond Stadium. Big call coming. Bloomsburg off the opening kickoff has driven to the Millersville 33-yard line where the Huskies face a 4th down and 3. High formation. After a shift now, Glaze is the lone running back. 4th down call. Miller under center. Long count. Takes the snap, gives the ball to Glaze, hit behind the line of scrimmage, tries to break away, will not get to the sticks. Boy, great penetration by one of the Marauders. Looked like Justin LaManna, number 89, freshman out of Bishop McDevitt High School. So a big defensive play by Millersville, and they are fired up as they go to the sideline. First big play of the day goes to the Marauders.
Huskies had success running off that right side, getting that type of penetration. But Glaze couldn't cut inside of him soon enough. He came up, made the play, knocks the man while he's 2 yards deep in the backfield, and then Glaze just can't recover as the tacklers swarm upon him.
Now Drew Fulmer at the controls for Millersville. Gives straight ahead and a big burst up the middle for good yardage. As the call went to number 7, Allie Johnson. He was about the 4th person we expected to see carry the football today, and he gets the first carry of the day.
Asked about Allie Johnson in the pregame, and he was sort of an afterthought in the mind of the SID, yet here he is with the very first carry. We're seeing some people we weren't expecting to be seeing, Jim.
2nd down and 4 for the Marauders. Great 6-yard burst by Johnson. Long count by Fulmer. Play action, back for his first pass today. Fires a quick out. Has his man Flemish, and Flemish is close to the first down yardage out to the 42. Greg Roskis makes the stop for the Huskies. Roskis, along with Jeremiah Dyer and Matt Keys, the Huskies' 3 linebackers and their leading 3 tacklers. Jim Lanigan, Dwayne Davis, Brian Sims, and Aaron Bordas across the front. Rudy Garcia and Luke Murray at the corners. Toye Berry is the strong safety. Trent Flick is the free safety.
I mentioned John Flemish hasn't played all that much. That's only his 2nd catch of the year.
First down for Millersville at the 42-yard line. Fulmer under center. Long count. Takes the snap, back to throw, fires a quick out, has Sean Scott out to the 47-yard line. So Millersville's offense sharp at the beginning. Luke Murray covered Scott, who picked up 5 in the first down play, 2nd down, and 5 Marauders.
Took 3 quick steps and then broke to the sideline. Perfect timing play, the same type of timing we see between Miller and Lelko. We're going to see between Fulmer and Scott. Great combination, turns it upfield, just about 5 yards on it.
Gilliam wide to the right side. Scott wide to the left from the 47-yard line. Quick drop back by Fulmer. Fires long to the far sideline over the head of Dondre Gilliam. Good coverage across the way by Rudy Garcia. So it'll be a 3rd down and 5, Millersville at their own 47.
Husky secondary must play off a little bit. Fulmer has the wind to his advantage, so he can get that ball to sail. The wind's not going to hold it up. It may carry it a little bit deeper. So you have to give them these short type of passes if they want to throw and then try to react. You're on 3rd and 5. You're going to want to really try to bump those receivers and play them close, but you still can't give up the bomb. They can throw it from here.
3rd and 5 at the 47. Brian Stone in as an extra defensive back for the Huskies. Ron Smith in as a pass rusher. Slot to the left side. Fulmer has the snap. Back to throw. Fires a quick out for Scott. Incomplete. Good coverage on the far side by Rudy Garcia, and Ron Smith was across that line of scrimmage in a hurry on Drew Fulmer. So the Huskies, with a defensive stand, will get the football back.
Fulmer wasn't happy with the way it was lined up at first. His Twins receivers weren't wide enough. He pushed one out, and then it seems they were running a little bit of a different pattern. Huskies need to make a quick change here. They got them off.
Scrambling to get the people they want onto the field. As Rzuski back to do the punting back at his 33-yard line. Gets the kick away very, very high. Toye Berry will let it bounce, hoping it goes in the end zone, and it just barely does. Took a bounce around the 2, and it was questionable which way it would go for the Huskies. Fortunately, it went into the end zone. So Bloomsburg gets it their own 20 with a 1st and 10 with 8:52 to go in a scoreless first quarter.
Huskies drove the ball, though, after a penalty from their 10-yard line all the way down to about the opposite 30. After about 6 plays from Millersville, they're back down there after the punt. The wind is a factor. It will make a big difference in field position. You have to work a lot harder going into this wind.
53 yards on the punt by Rzuski. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at their own 20. I formation, fake to Glaze, roll by Miller, fires over the head of Mike Loco. Good penetration by Nick Reynolds that time. 6 foot, 230-pound sophomore. Huskies didn't get the block on him. Caused some problems for Eric Miller as he was rolling left.
Yeah, he had the bubble around him. They eventually got a little push so he couldn't pursue. But Miller rolling to the left, also going to be fighting against that wind, has to throw it. Difficult to throw to the left, perfectly on target. And then with the wind, all the harder. First incomplete pass, though. Miller completed the first 3 he threw.
Terrell Johnson wide right, Mike Loco wide left. After a shift, Glaze is the lone running back behind quarterback Eric Miller. Was Doug Werner on a wing to the right. The call goes to Glaze off that right side. Turns the corner. Marcus Glaze running hard out close to the first down yardage near the 30.
Nice acceleration. He took the corner. There was no kick out. They were able to move the man in and seal him. So he uses that sweeping actions. He gets to that corner after a little bubbling action. He just puts it into glide. He gets into a nice speed. And then the last 3 yards, he just pushes the blockers ahead and forces it. They give him the first down here.
10 yards on the carry by Marcus Glaze. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at their own 30-yard line. Slot to this, the near side of the field. I formation behind the senior quarterback, Eric Miller. Miller on a sprint draw to Glaze, hit behind the line, just struggles to get there. As Justin Lamanna, freshman out of Bishop McDevitt, with a good defensive play. He made the huge play on Glaze on that 4th and 2 call in the Huskies' last possession. So now 2nd and 10, Bloomsburg at their own 30.
He has had some big plays, and he's not the featured defensive end on this team. Nick Reynolds is. But we're seeing Lamanna step it up in this critical game.
2nd down call coming. Mike Loco wide to the right side. Miller off play action, looking for Loco. Now has to keep the football and has to scramble for a couple up the middle to the 32-yard line. Matt Shields and Justin Lamanna combined on the stop. So Eric Miller will pick up a couple to the 32-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and 8 call for the Huskies.
Double coverage on Lelko makes him pull it down quickly. He saw a little seam on the inside, realized it's going to be tough to find hot receivers and get it deep downfield against the wind. So instead of taking the sack, he moves it ahead a little bit.
Slot to the right side. Forgione wide left. Eric Miller from shotgun has the snap. Back to throw. Has plenty of time. Now it's breaking down. He'll have to scramble. He's hit. He fumbles the football. And it's picked up at the 20-yard line. And the return to the 15 and down to the 6-yard line. Mike Zellner on the return. Millersville gets the first huge break in the ball game. They have it 1st and goal.
Miller started to scramble and broke to the left, and he saw that he'd have the outside, but he's hit from behind as he breaks. It looks like he might even get to the chains if he could squirt away. But the ball is kicked out of his hand. That man bumps it as he's making the potential for the sack. It bounces wildly for about 12 yards. And Zellner's able to pick it up and get a fine return on it.
Jamal Lee had the big hit. Zellner with the recovery and return. And the Marauders have it 1st and goal at the Bloomsburg 5. Johnson is the tailback of the I formation. Flemish ahead of him. Long count by Drew Fulmer. Takes the snap, gives to Johnson off the left side, and Johnson will get down to the 3, maybe the 2-yard line.
They're going power football. This offensive line has 3 freshmen in there, but they decided to power off the left side anyway. Flamish put as a fullback, and Ali Johnson, who had minimal carries through the course of the year, only 22, now gets his second carry of this game here in a very critical situation.
2nd and goal. Johnson and Flemish in an offset eye. The call goes to Ali Johnson up the middle. Ali Johnson hit hard, but gets in for the touchdown. And the Marauders strike first. Ali Johnson in for the 2-yard line.
Momentum after the turnover. Huskies working into the wind, can't make it go. Scrambling quarterback has to tuck it because he can't get it deep downfield and feels the pressure. His fumble then picked up, returned to the 5, and Millersville, with that momentum on its side, plays inspired offense and drives at the 5 yards on the ground.
Andy Rzuski, 21 for 23 at extra point attempts with the wind at his back. Kicks one through. Timeout on the field. 6:38 to go in the first quarter play with the score. Millersville 7, Bloomsburg nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Right here, Millersville is on the board first. They get a big play. Jamal Lee hits Bloomsburg quarterback Eric Miller, causes a fumble. Mike Zellner, a linebacker, recovers, returns to the 5. 2 plays later, Ali Johnson in for the score. 7-0 Marauders as Rzuski kicks off with the wind at his back. Bryant Stone back to the Bloomsburg 1-yard line. To the 5, to the 10, to the 15. Looks for some room. Gets out to about the 20, maybe the 23-yard line on the return. The Huskies take over the football. They've had 2 possessions. One ended on a 4th down and 2 call in Millersville territory. The last one on the fumble.
Yeah, mistakes have hurt. 2 penalties in the opening drive slowed things down. Now the fumble. And yet that fumble is a tough one to blame Miller for. You mentioned it during the break, Jim. If he's able to squirt free and he sees that sideline, he has a good 30-yard gain. But the man from behind gets the push on him.
Aristide Henry is now the tailback for the Huskies. He finds a seam up the middle, and Henry runs hard over the 30. Out near the first down yardage, Dave Burkholder makes the stop from his linebacker position. So Aristide Henry gets the call on this series from his tailback spot. And the 5'8", 193-pound junior out of George Washington High School in Philadelphia gets a 9-yard burst on his first touch, 2nd and 1.
Important for the Huskies to establish that run as they work in the wind. They've been able to get the ball and run with it. They've been running wide in the C gap. First time they're successful straight up the middle.
Slot to the right side, I formation. Jamison McLaughlin is the fullback. Henry gets the call, has the first down, and then some. He gets over the 35 to the 37. Matt Shields, a 6'2", 245-pound senior middle linebacker from Thoroughfare, New Jersey, makes the stop. 5 yards for Aristide Henry, 1st and 10 Huskies.
Another nice burst. They've proved they can run it wide in the C gap. Now they want to prove they can take it up the middle. The offensive line is getting into people. They're pushing them back, creating the seam. The runner then has to split the linebackers. 1st and 10,
Bloomsburg at their 37. Slot to the right side. Henry gets the call, tries that right side, over the 40, breaks a tackle to the 45, slips out to midfield, makes a cut to the 45, still on his feet to the 40-yard line. Flag down on the play, downfield.
Yeah, late. As the man's being tackled 20 yards downfield from the line of scrimmage, the flag finally comes. So perhaps a late clip or a late hold. Huskies will still have an advantage. An illegal use of hands against the Huskies, but at the point of the tackle. Anticipate the Huskies will still have a 1st and 10, but move it back to the other side of midfield from where this flag is. That's the way I think you'll see it. So still a success for the Huskies, but not the outstanding success that they would have had at the culmination of the run. A late illegal use of hands when basically the man is being down. The 3rd penalty to hurt the Huskies.
27 yards on the carry by Aristide Henry. Part of it's going to come back. It'll be at the Bloomsburg 48-yard line. It will be, however, a Bloomsburg 1st down. And boy, Henry within a whisker of taking it the distance that time.
I thought he had a chance to break here toward the Huskies sideline, but he's looking and seeing and using the bobbing and the weaving as he goes. He needed one more man to be blocked, or he would have been able to take it.
From their own 48-yard line, Bloomsburg with a 1st and 10. Under 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Huskies trailing it. Henry gets the call. Hit and dropped right about the line of scrimmage. Matt Shields makes the stop from his middle linebacker position. Shields coming in quickly. It'll be 2nd and 10, Bloomsburg. Boy, in a big game, you can't make mistakes, and Bloomsburg has made 4 already with 4:38 to go in the first quarter. 3 penalties and a fumble.
Right, and they're also at a disadvantage against the wind where every mistake matters all the more. You have to know Jim Monos is watching 427, 426, 425 click down as they're working against the wind here in the first quarter.
Brian Sullivan shifts to a tight end position on the right. I formation behind Eric Miller. 2nd down and 10 call. Henry gets the call off the right side. Not much doing. Gets to midfield. Picks up a couple. Jamal Lee makes the stop for Millersville. 6'2", 260-pound junior. So it's going to be a 3rd down situation. 3rd and 8 for the Huskies from midfield.
First 3 passes by Eric Miller were completed. Then 1 falls incomplete. Then on passing downs, he's forced to try to run. One of them, the ball that's knocked away from him for that critical turnover. In shotgun again.
Slot to the near side of the field. Ron Loco in the slot. Miller has the snap. Back to throw. Looking long to the far side of Terrell Johnson off his hands at the 15-yard line. 2 defenders down there, but Eric Miller laid it up there beautifully.
Yes, he did. I don't think Terrell Johnson was expecting that ball to come in his direction. Lelko and another receiver here on the left were getting attention. Safety cheated just a little. But the ball fought into that wind, still finds the hands of Terrell Johnson, but he might have had some problem with the sun as he's looking back.
Joe Dietrich to punt into this stiff wind. Low line drive kick. Gilliam will field at his 20-yard line. Bloomsburg with great coverage. He'll be buried right about the 20. Mike Belinsky among the people down on the play for the Huskies.
Great coverage against a very dangerous individual. Andre Gilliam has an amazing record of sorts. He has 1,000 career yards in each phase of the game. He has 1,000 yards as a rusher, 1,000 yards as a pass receiver, and he has over 1,000 yards as a return man as well. An amazing feat.
3:21 to go first quarter. Millersville with a 7-0 lead in the football at their 20-yard line. With the give off the left side, a good surge by that front for Millersville. They pick up 5 yards. This is a team that isn't supposed to be able to run the football, particularly against Bloomsburg's tough defense. But they're doing it right now. Great surge, 6 yards for Allie Johnson, 2nd down and 4.
Weren't expecting to see Allie Johnson running the ball either, and he's had all 4 carries for this team. I think the Huskies don't mind seeing this team run. They have the wind advantage for less than 3 minutes of this quarter, and the Huskies, I think, are more in a pass defensive look, anticipating that.
2nd down call coming. I formation. Flamish ahead of Johnson. Johnson gets the call, hit behind the line, but bounces ahead, gets a couple. Bring up a 3rd and short situation for the Marauders. Greg Roskis makes the stop from his linebacker position for Bloomsburg.
3rd and short should be a running situation again, and should take 30 more seconds off of this first quarter, where Drew Fulmer, the outstanding passer, should have the advantage. But I'd be surprised not to see a running play here.
3rd down, a short 2 for the Marauders from their 28. Just 1 running back behind quarterback Drew Fulmer. Scott goes in motion to the left side. Fulmer gives the ball to Flamish, tries that right side, does get the first down. So I agree with Andy about the passing situation, but this has to be a real concern for Bloomsbury. If Millersville can run the football, this is going to be a long afternoon for the Huskies.
And they're running it nicely, and they're running it with a bit of a different look. Flamish playing some fullback, Allie Johnson at tailback. That line coming off the ball very well. It is a bit disturbing for the defense to see this.
1st and 10 for the Marauders at their 33-yard line with just 1:47 to go in the first quarter. I formation behind Fulmer. Gives the ball to Johnson, weaving his way through. Dyer makes the stop, but not before he gets good yardage over the 35 up to the 37-yard line.
Running and also running the time down. Under 1.5 minutes left here in the first quarter, and Millersville not hurrying out of the huddle to get more plays.
I'm not sure that was Johnson. We'll have to check that. It might have been Trogdon on that carry. It's the ball out at the 37-yard line, 2nd down and 7 for the Marauders. It is Terrence Trogdon at the tailback spot now. 2nd down call. Long count, Drew Fulmer. Really long count, just barely got it away. Trogdon gets the call, and this time nothing doing. Bloomsburg looking like the top-rated defense that they are on that play. They're all over Trogdon. Fran Greger gets off the bottom of the pile for Bloomsburg from his defensive end position. So it's going to bring up a third down call, about 7 for Millersville, at their own 37-yard line.
They will be passing here. 37 seconds left to go with the wind advantage. They might, they'll want the clock to stop so they can punt with the wind if they don't make it.
Scott wide left, Gilliam wide right. Third down call. Fulmer has the snap, play action, spins, back to throw, fires to the far sideline, has a completion, and a great second effort for a first down. I mean, a Bloomsburg defender had that man right there at the line, but Rich Tucholsky just wanted it more, and he picks up a Marauder first down.
Yeah, they had him go two yards short of the change, but he twisted towards the sideline and kept the legs pushing. That's a very important last 2 yards, because if he stopped short, he's kept inbounds, he's kept short of the chain. I think Millersville would have had to take a timeout just to punt with the wind. They do award the first down now. They measured it right there at the sideline. So that was a wonderful play by Rich Tucholsky.
Tucholsky is a 6'3", 245-pound redshirt freshman out of Souderton High School. 15 seconds to go, first quarter. Millersville leading 7-0 and looking very strong in this first quarter. First and 10 call. Fulmer takes the snap, play action. He's back to throw, and he's looking long, and Delandre Gilliam goes high and makes the catch inside the Bloomsburg 40-yard line. Rudy Garcia on the coverage, but a terrific pass and catch. And that was 7 seconds to go in this quarter. See if Millersville puts it up again.
Anticipate it. They have that wind. You may as well use it to the advantage. Going out of bounds should keep the clock stopped, so they have time to think of the play. It's their last chance with the wind of the half.
Scott is wide right. Gilliam is wide left from the Bloomsburg 39-yard line. Fulmer has Tucholsky go in motion right behind him. Play action. He's back to throw, and he's looking far to the sideline. Scott's wide open inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. And that will end the first quarter, and a strong first quarter was for Millersville. Disappointment for Bloomsburg. 7-0, the Marauders lead it. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you very much, Dave. Right here, Millersville threatening to put up a 2-touchdown lead on Bloomsburg as we start this second quarter. 7-0, the Marauders lead it already. And the last play of that first quarter, a 25-yard strike, Drew Fulmer to Sean Scott. We start this period number 2 with Millersville moving from our right to our left, and a 1st and 10 at the Bloomsburg 14-yard line. They will be going into that stiff wind in the second quarter, but for the 14, it doesn't make a lot of difference.
No, he'll be mixing the run in, he'll be mixing the short pass, and Fulmer has great zip on the ball to knife into that wind.
Trogdon is the lone running back. From the 14, he will get the call, and he'll sweep the left side, and he'll get just about a yard. Defends pretty well. Brian Sims makes the stop for Bloomsburg. Matt Keys from his linebacker spot was there as well.
Huskies need to string together 2 more strong defensive plays, keep this team short, and force them into kicking a field goal into this stiff breeze. Still a short field goal, but 10-0 with the wind and the advantage of the Huskies. They can probably cut the lead again after that, but they really want to try to prevent the touchdown.
Dwight Henry is in as a wide receiver for the Marauders to the left. From the 13-yard line of Bloomsburg, 2nd down and 9. And rolling right is Fulmer, looking for us in pursuit, fires the ball, tipped and caught by an offensive lineman who goes in for the score. Frank Caccioli scores. There is a flag down the play.
Well, they're wondering if there is an illegal lineman downfield or if he's allowed to make the catch. Jim, I think he is, and they're going to confirm. The ball was tipped. The Huskies tipped it. Fulmer's rolling right, throws against his body toward a receiver, a dangerous pass against the grain. Huskies tip it, had the potential for the interception. Lineman breaks downfield to help with the blocking to lead his men into the end zone. He catches it, and then on the run takes it in. They're going to call an illegal lineman downfield. And that should involve a loss of down, I believe, as well. So add the penalty yardage and watch for that loss of down. I didn't think he was that far downfield. I thought he broke downfield when the ball was thrown. It was batted into the air. He had to go about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage to catch it around the 9 and then take it in. I think the Huskies are catching a break on this call. It is a subjective call. The lineman felt he was downfield too far at the time the ball was thrown. Now, I think it's a break for the Huskies, the way they're interpreting this.
They're about to set the ball down at the 18-yard line, but they're not doing it as the two of the officiating staff, not the referee, are over on the far side of the field talking to Dr. Gene Carpenter, head coach of the Marauders.
I think they told the line judge who threw the flag, you go explain it to him. It was thrown by the man on the Husky sideline who watches the lineman. He thought it was a lineman who caught the ball about 4 yards downfield. But again, Fulmer is rolling. He's 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He throws against his body. The ball goes about 10 yards in the air, but back toward the middle of the field. The Huskies tip it. It comes back a little toward the line of scrimmage, and now this big lineman, Frank Casciola, catches it, and with his momentum goes. I only saw him at 4 or 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and well after the ball was thrown. So it's subjective, and they have the better view of it. Was he behind the line? Fulmer was rolling and had to look like maybe he'd run. And this backside guard, who's not over there giving protection at that point, who's still, near his positional point, starts heading downfield. That is the call.
Well, you can look at it when you talk about breaks. You can look at it from two standpoints, Andy. The ball should have been intercepted.
It very well should have. I'm surprised by Fulmer, who rarely throws interceptions, only 7 all year, that he's going to take a risk like that, when they're in field goal range and throw it against his body to a man. Sort of a desperation-type pass. Yes, the Huskies had a great chance of getting it. They have this a second down on the chains.
2nd and 14 for Millersville at the 18-yard line. Back to throw is Fulmer. Fires to the sideline, a diving attempt and a catch, but they'll only gain 2 yards as Terrence Trogdon makes the catch. So a diving catch, but only for 2 to the 16, and that'll bring up 3rd and 12.
Yes, it will. He obviously wasn't the receiver. They wanted to go downfield, but Drew Fulmer is feeling pressure, goes to the hot receiver who's flaring on the near side, has to throw it quickly. It comes low, and it brings Trogdon right to the ground.
Gilliam wide left. Scott in a slot to the right. Fulmer from shotgun. Big call. 3rd and 12 at the Bloomsburg 16. Fulmer has the snap. Looking, dumps the pass out to Flemish, and he drops the football. Huskies got great pressure on the quarterback, and then they had that play read well. Even if Flemish had held on to it, would have been a minimal gain, so the field goal unit will come on.
Yeah, Flemish had his eyes to look to see where the tacklers were. He knew he needed to get to the chains. They're a good 12 yards downfield. Neat action, though, to avoid the pressure. They look like they're going to roll right, all of a sudden stop and roll left. The quarterback has to get rid of it.
The hold will be at the 22-yard line, into the wind, 32-yard field goal attempt. Andy Rzuski, his kick is up, and his kick is no good. No good, off to the right. So the Huskies hold Millersville to a field goal attempt, which fails. Bloomsburg takes over, trailing 7-0, 13:20 to go, first half.
Yeah, the wind may have had a little bit to do with that, but Rzuski is usually very true, puts a little bit too much on it, maybe expecting more of a hook or expecting the wind to push it through. And he just puts it a little too strong to the right. He had certainly enough distance with it, but the angle was off.
So Bloomsburg takes over the football at their own 20-yard line. Huskies in this quarter moving from our left to our right, the wind at their back.
And they've run very effectively as well.
After a shift, Alan Lechthaler is the tight end on the left side. The call goes to Aristine Henry, trying that left side, breaks through and gets out to the 25-yard line. Henry brought down by the free safety, Braden Steppe. Nick Reynolds there as well. So a good first down play for the Huskies. 2nd down and 5 at the 25.
Huskies' ground game has been strong. Marcus Glaze with 40 yards on 9 carries. Aristine Henry with 32 yards on 6 carries. They've been able to dominate at the line line of scrimmage, and the runners have been strong. Passing now with the wind can be even more effective. He's 3 of 5 passing.
Second down call. Henry off the left side hurdles the tackler over the 35 to the 40 and out near the 45-yard line. Aristide Henry hurdled the tackler at the 35 and got up to the 45. Braden Steffi makes the stop. And we saw some signs last week at Mansfield of Aristide Henry getting back into the flow. He looks terrific today.
Great blocking at the point of attack, and then he starts cutting across the grain. Second time he had the potential for the very long touchdown. He had the Huskies sideline if he could avoid one more man, but that tackler brings him down.
19 yards in that carry, 1st and 10. Henry again on his delay, again hurdles the tackler, gets to midfield, gets to the 45, still on his feet, to the Millersville 41-yard line. Aristide Henry running like a man possessed, getting some great blocks from the front, and the Huskies move the sticks again.
Strong running. You want to take advantage of the wind while you have it and throw with it, but when the running game is this dominating, keep going with it. You're pushing people off the ball. It's demoralizing for a defense to have a team basically steamroll right over you, and that's what the Huskies are doing in Millersville.
1st and 10 at the 41. The call goes to Jamison McLaughlin. He stripped him the football. The scramble's on back at the 46-yard line. Huskies get on it.
Yeah, Manny Henry in there, backfield a little bit, able to come up with that, but that could have been disastrous. Huskies hurt by one fumble already in the course of this game. That one would have been devastating.
And that hurts the cause. 2nd down and 14 after runs of 19 and 15 yards by Aristide Henry. That fumble and a loss of yardage puts the Huskies in a 2nd and 14 situation. Fake to Henry. Miller back. He'll be sacked back at the 47. And all of a sudden, the Bloomsburg drive is stopped cold. Nick Reynolds with his 7th sack of the season.
They do have the wind advantage. They'll have a chance for a long 4th down pass, and if they punt, they'll punt with the wind, and that should put Millersville in, and then you have to play strong defense to get the same field position back. He wanted to go with play action and then look downfield, but he felt the pressure coming, and he pretty much lost his footing. He probably would have been sacked anyway, but he might have had a chance to at least try to throw that away and not lose the yardage.
It all started with that fumble. Huskies were going strong until the dropped by McLaughlin. Now Bloomsburg back at their 48 in a desperate situation. A flag down the play. Too much time. Another Bloomsburg mistake.
It hurts. Yeah, there aren't many great plays with 3rd and 20, even with the wind in your advantage. You try to find what's going to work, get yourself into the proper formation, but the Huskies not ready to get that play off in the time allowed.
4 penalties against Bloomsburg, 2 fumbles. Crucial mistakes in a big game. Now it's 3rd and long and really desperation time. Slot to the left side. Forgione wide to the right. Miller will operate from shotgun. He does have the wind at his back, but Millersville obviously expecting the pass. There's the shuffle pass straight ahead, and Millersville's all over the play. It'll lose even more yardage back to the 40-yard line. So a Bloomsburg drive that had reached the Millersville 41-yard line loses on 3 consecutive plays, and the punt team on.
Well, you have to look at it like a chess player and play a few plays ahead at this point. You want to pump this team in deep, but with all the lost yardage, it's going to be tough to get this team very deep, even with the wind. You have to hope for strong defense and force them to punt into the wind.
Matt Benson with a good snap. The kick by Dietrich is not a good one. Low line drive kick. But it does take a good roll where Bloomsburg is concerned. Goes dead all the way to the 17, close to the 16. So it turns out to be an effective kick. Millersville will take over with 9:40 to go in this first half. And the Marauders leading the Huskies 7-0.
Now the Huskies can use the wind to their advantage. They can play these receivers a little bit tougher. It's going to be tough to throw deep and get beaten deep. If you lock on with man, you can put a little bit more attention to stopping the running game, and the running game has been surprisingly effective against the Huskies in the first quarter. But how does the wind change things now?
Flemish is the lone running back behind quarterback Drew Fulmer. Millersville from their 17 sends Scott in motion to the left side. Flemish gets the call, hit and dropped at the 15-yard line. Zach Myers, 76, all over the play for the Huskies. Bloomsburg uses a lot of people up front. Myers didn't start, but sees action, and the 6'3", 260-pound sophomore of Phillipsburg, New Jersey, brings Flemish down for a loss of 2, 2nd and 12 at the 15.
Defensive coordinator Paul Darragh can play much more aggressively since he has the wind advantage now, and we saw an aggressive play there on first down by his defense.
Slot to the right side. 2nd down call. Flemish, the lone running back, fakes to him, fires a quick out. He's got his man on the far side of the field. Gilliam, and gets out near the 29-yard line. Play set up well. Toye Berry makes the stop. They pick up 14 yards in that quick hitter.
Yeah, set up very, very nicely. The receivers on that side do the screen blocking for Gilliam as he makes the catch. And that will move the chains. Nice quick hitter behind the line of scrimmage, but then the run after the catch, the interference provided by the other receivers.
12 yards altogether on the carry. 1st and 10, Millersville at their own 27-yard line. Gilliam wide to the right. Slot to the left side. Sean Scott in the slot. Fulmer, who's been using a lot of long counts, has a snap, back to throw. He's going to be sacked back at the 25-yard line. Kevin Petrie, 221-pound junior out of Parkland High School, on the defensive front for the Huskies right now, brings down Fulmer for a loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
Wanted it to be a quick hitter, but the Huskies are playing up in the face of the receivers. They're not afraid of the deep pass. It's going to be hard to throw it high in the air to where you're going to beat anybody deep. So he couldn't throw the quick hitter because the coverage was taking away the inside slant, and then he's sacked.
2nd down and 12. Marauders at their 25. Slot to this near the side of the field. The slot back Scott now in motion to the right. Fulmer gives the ball to Flemish, has lots of running room, breaks into the secondary, spins away from a tackler, still on his feet, out to the 40-yard line. And Andy, I tell you, Millersville just looks like they want it more right now. Second effort, big for Flemish.
He plays with a lot of heart. He's finally healthy. He's been denied the first half of the season. This is a critical game. He knows it. He provides the leadership and the intensity. They gave him a nice seam for the first 6 or 7 yards. It looked like he could have been stopped 2 yards short of the chain. But he just insists he's going to get it, and he does.
1st and 10 for the Marauders at their 40. 7:36 to go in the first half. They're in control, 7-0. Fulmer with an I formation behind him, gives the ball to Johnson, tries the right side. He slashes out close to 5 yards. A Millersville team that is not supposed to be able to run the football, particularly against Bloomsburg's strong defense, is doing just that. 5 yards from the pickup. 2nd down and 5.
A Millersville team without John Flemish isn't the same Millersville team that we're seeing here. So, yes, previously in the year, the running game wasn't as dominant, but now you have Flemish as a runner and Flemish as a blocker ahead of Ali Johnson.
2nd down and 5. Johnson gets the call, tries to dance away, and cannot get there. Brought down short of the line of scrimmage. Looked like Dwayne Davis, number 97, 261-pound senior out of Reading, making the play. Actually lost a half yard. We'll call 3rd down and 5. Big call, Millersville, from their 45-yard line.
I know if I was the Huskies, I'd be happy to see the I formation and handing the ball to Ali Johnson. He's relatively talented. But I think it's more dangerous to see Flemish alone, where he's the guy who's going to carry it, or else you have those 4 explosive receivers for Drew Fulmer.
Trogdon is the lone running back. Scott in motion left to right. 3rd down call. Fulmer gives the ball to Trogdon. Big hole up the left side, and he's stopped right near the sticks. It's going to be close. Toye Berry makes the play.
I thought just short. Flemish with the same carry makes that yardage. Where do they spot it? I think they might bring it over for a measurement, but I don't think they have it, Jim. And do you go for it? Well, they'll bring it across. Critical measurement. Huskies, of course, have been going with the defense that allows, for a little bit in the run. If it would be a power run here on an offensive snap, the Huskies will be coming up with everybody up tight. I don't know if you're in the situation, you don't want to have to punt into the wind, but it would be a 4th down risk at midfield. But maybe one Millersville will take in this situation. They'll stretch the chains. I think they're a little short. A little short, about half a yard.
Now decision time for the Marauders.
About 8 inches short. Makes a difference. They do know the snap count.
Punt team coming on.
Is the punters?
I believe.
Nice. I'm not sure, Jim.
No, there's Flamish. There's Johnson. So Millersville is going to roll the dice here. The 49-yard line. Their own territory. They have a 7-0 lead. 6:51 remaining.
Fulmer himself is a fine runner. Watch for the sneak.
Comes to the line of scrimmage. All they need is inches. Fulmer, quarterback keeper, gets the first down.
When you know the snap count, it's to your advantage as that quarterback just to push it ahead. He has a good size center in Matt Doherty, a returning veteran, a 290-pounder. You goose him, you go when you're ready, and you get that initial push. As the center snaps it back, he's automatically moving forward. You put Drew Fulmer on 185 pounds, leaning forward on him. You know when it's coming. The nose guard doesn't.
1st and 10 for the Marauders at midfield. Slot to the right side. Fulmer on a long count. Gives the ball to Johnson. Tries the right side. There's 5 more yards. Every time it looks like there's very little to be had, Millersville's getting good chunks of yardage on the ground. And meanwhile, the Bloomsburg offense, top rated in the PSAC, sits on the sideline.
They watch the wind advantage disappear as the second quarter winds on down. The running game successful, somewhat surprising the Huskies defense. So they're making it happen on the ground.
Johnson, the lone running back. Boy, an innocuous-looking running play. Straight ahead, gets 5 yards at first down. That spells trouble for Bloomsburg. Fulmer, under center from the 45-yard line. Back to throw. Has some time. Now rolls right. Here comes the rush. He just throws it away.
Yeah, Scott downfield waving, hey, throw it to me, but you can't throw it that far into this wind, not with a quarterback scrambling to the right. Drew Fulmer, a veteran, 4th year as a starter, able to get that out of bounds, not take any type of a loss with the sack, so he preserves a 3rd and a 6th situation here that he can convert.
Bloomsburg really needs a big play from somebody. They've not gotten one in this first quarter from either side of the football. 3rd down and 5. Millersville just short of the Bloomsburg 45-yard line. Marauders leading at 7-0. Big call coming. Fulmer takes the snap, straight drop back to throw, has some time, steps up into it, completes the pass, but will not get the first down. Pass completed to Scott, and a big hit right there by the Huskies, number 51, Greg Roskis. Stopped it short of the stick. Now they give a great spot to the 40-yard line.
Yeah. Fans are arguing
very,
as well.
Very favorable spot. That makes it 4th and 1. And will Millersville gamble again?
I think they will. They gambled before 10 yards deeper. Why not gamble now? It's about the same amount of yardage. Maybe 15 inches instead of 8 inches.
So Millersville closer to that first down than I had anticipated. Johnson gets the call. First down and then some. Look at him run over Huskies down to the 30-yard line. The second conversion, this one for 10 yards. 1st and 10. Trent Flick and Toy Berry makes the stop. And boy, that does 2 huge things. One is Millersville's threatening for a 2-touchdown lead, and just as importantly, the Bloomsburg offense with the wind at their back, as Andy mentioned, is going to sit out most of this second quarter.
Yeah, if they do get it back, they're going to have to get it back and hurry on downfield with the team knowing you're going to do nothing but throw.
2 fourth-down conversions by the Marauders. They are playing inspired football from the 30-yard line. Fulmer, play action, back to throw. Looking, fires, has a completion. Just for a couple yards to the far side to Austin, the tight end, Luke Murray on the tackle. But boy, what a terrific job Drew Fulmer does. Huskies bearing down, not only doesn't take the sack, but picks up yardage.
And keeps working the clock. They're not worried about the time. It's more time the Huskies won't have in this half with the wind advantage, and they'll have enough time to get into scoring range. Fulmer is the wily veteran, knows where his people are, will not take the sack, dumps it off cleanly.
2nd and 4, slot to the near side of the field. From the Bloomsburg 26-yard line. Fulmer back to throw, pump fake. Cooley stands back there, looks to the far side of Gilliam, makes a great catch down at the 11-yard line. Fulmer across his body goes far side of the field in a double coverage. Gilliam goes high, and the Marauders threatening.
Huskies had two people in the area. They're playing a zone. They knew where Gilliam was. They weren't expecting that ball to come that way across the quarterback's body. It's high. One-man jump seems to have the potential for the interception, but it's just a little bit out of his reach, and Gilliam comes up with the great catch.
2:15 to go in the first half. Millersville 11 yards away from what would be a 14-0 lead. Johnson is the tailback of the I formation. Flamish ahead of him. There's the give to Johnson, trying the right side. Tripped up very little, if any. Greg Roskis with great penetration from his linebacker position for the Huskies.
Nice play. Roskis coming in hard, gets the penetration that the Huskies do need to knock this team back just a little bit. And that is a big tackle. Huskies need a few more, though.
2nd down and 11. So Millersville's going to dominate time of possession in this second quarter, the quarter where the Huskies hope to get something going with that big wind at their back. Instead, they find themselves in a position where they could be 2 touchdowns down going into halftime from the 11-yard line. Millersville, 2nd down call. Fulmer, toss sweep right side. Then on the reverse, Gilliam drops the football and then is buried. Back at the 17-yard line. Give to Johnson. Johnson gave to Gilliam, but that exchange was not clean. Mike Belinsky covered the play as the loss will be back to the 17-yard line to bring up 3rd and 17.
Big loss because that 6 or 7 yards of field position might put them out of field goal range with this wind. It makes it all the harder. Ball was on the ground a long time. It was put into the chest of Gilliam, who just never wrapped on it cleanly. Bounced down to the ground, and he was having some trouble picking it up, but the Huskies pulled by the reversing action, not in position to have a chance of recovering.
3rd and 16 at the 17. Fulmer has the snap, back to throw, plenty of time, fires over the head of Scott. Luke Murray on the coverage, and now it is 4th down for the Marauders at the Bloomsburg 17-yard line. 4th and 16, and the field goal unit will come on.
Ball is going to be on the right hash. They'll spot it somewhere around the 24-yard line for the kick. So he's got to get a little bit of a hook into it, and again, into that very stiff breeze. We have a timeout for the Huskies, Jim.
36 seconds to go first half. 7-0 Marauders. We'll be back in 30 seconds. 36 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Millersville has dominated time of possession. They have the edge on the scoreboard, 7-0, and they have a chance to add to that lead. As Andy Rzuski, who missed a field goal earlier, on to try one. The hold will be at the 24-yard line. There'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt by Rzuski. The snap is there. The placement. The kick is blocked. The kick is blocked. The scramble is on. Bloomsburg takes over the football.
He never got it very high, Jim. The man who blocked it was only about a yard through the line of scrimmage and went straight up. So one of the linemen, not with a whole lot of penetration, but by getting the arms up, and just to get a tip on that ball because the trajectory is not high. The kicker, Rzuski, knows by putting it high, it's going to take more wind. So it's a low kick, and it's blocked near the line of scrimmage. Big play by the Huskies to keep this at 7-0.
It is indeed, and Bloomsburg will run out the clock and go in trailing 7-0 as Eric Miller will take a knee. Huskies will let it wind down. That was some drive by Millersville. 17 plays altogether. And although they didn't get points on the board, it accomplished a lot because it kept Bloomsburg's offense off the field for much of that quarter. Now the Huskies will settle for a 7-point deficit at halftime. Obviously disappointing, but a whole half of football to be played in this PSAC East showdown. They wind it down. That'll do it. The end of the first half of play with the score. Millersville 7 and Bloomsburg nothing. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
You're listening to WCNR.
Redmond Stadium this afternoon. Dave will be by as host of the Scoreboard Show, the very latest in college football. This Saturday, one other score we can add to the group that Dave just gave us, Northwood out of Michigan, playing at Ashland, Ohio today, leading 27-7 in the second quarter. And the reason we passed that score along, the Northeast Regional this week ranks the top 10 teams in the Northeast Regional. The top 4 at the end of the season will go into NCAA play. Millersville's number 1. Bloomsburg was just out of that top 4 in 5th place. Northwood is the team just ahead of them, and Northwood in the second quarter taking care of Ashland, Ohio by a score of 27-7. But Huskies certainly can't do any scoreboard watching. The only scoreboard they want to watch is the one here at Redmond Stadium, and right now that reads 7-0 Millersville as we start the second quarter, and Millersville is going to get the football in this quarter. They will be going into the wind. And Andy, if the wind is a factor, and it appears to be one, this is a big quarter for Bloomsburg defensively. They cannot let Millersville put together 2 drives like they did in the second quarter of 13 and 17 plays. Even though they came away without points, those were big drives.
Very, very big drives. It's going to be a big quarter for the Huskies offensively, because you would think working with the wind is the best chance for your offense to have its total range of plays, passing and running. And yet, strangely, this game is almost sort of an inside-out game. Time of possession for teams working into the wind is greatly outnumbered time of possession for the offenses that have the wind to their advantage. It's almost like when the wind is against you, you have to crank it up a notch. You have to keep it away from the other team so much that consequently your team is threatening to score. So it's been the reverse of what you'd expect. It's like this wind is posing such a threat that it makes you work harder going into it, and you're more successful that way.
Andre Gilliam back for Millersville. Quigley's kick starts the second half, and that kick goes 8 yards deep in the end zone and out of the end zone. So Millersville will take over at their own 20-yard line as freshman Zach Quigley nails one to start the second half.
And the Huskies do need the strong defensive stand. They want to stop this team 3 downs and punt from that 20-yard line, make them punt into the wind and get the ball back at midfield. A lot of this game should be field position. There's been a lot of squandered opportunities. Granted, Millersville has played extremely well. They've created situations to give themselves an advantage.
Allie Johnson will get the start at tailback in the second half, and well he might. Had a good first half running the football. John Flamish ahead of him in the I formation. From the 20-yard line, Homer gives to Flemish off the right side, and not much doing, maybe a yard on the play. Greg Roskis coming in from his linebacker position to make the play for the Huskies.
Flemish has been a very critical figure in the turnaround of Millersville's offensive fortune. His return to the backfield at strength in this game has given them a charge of energy that has allowed them to balance the running game to match the passing threat. There is a big play that the Huskies stopped him short.
Second down and 9, Marauders. Gilliam wide to the right, Scott wide to the left. Bloomsburg showing blitz, then they back away. Fulmer toss sweep right side. Allie Johnson. Johnson cut down after a short gain of the play. Bloomsburg doing a good job defensively once again. Matt Keys from his linebacker position. And Johnson, I believe, down on the play. They'll mark it right about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's down at the point of the tackle. Man coming in low, submarines him and takes the legs out from under him, and he sort of crumbled up on the far side after that 1-yard gain. Huskies coming up hard and playing very strong run defense here on these first 2 plays, anticipating that Millersville will try to run the ball. They had some success in the first half, and they're just playing the run tougher. More of an anticipation, more of an attitude and aggressiveness to stop it. And they realize they must squelch this and force this team. We're going to see a passing situation on 3rd and a long 7, and the wind will be against that very difficult quarterback, Drew Fulmer.
Extra defensive back. Ron Smith is a very active pass rusher.
A lot of time for both teams also to consider strategy. What do you do with Drew Fulmer? What passing formation do you give him? What type of protection? He's a mobile quarterback as well. He's deft with his ball handling. He rolls well and can throw nicely there. Huskies, of course, would like to pressure him, contain him, force him to stay in the pocket, throw him off of his rhythm. They'd like to pressure this passer, make him get a quick throw into this whip while the coverage still is there. Don't give the dangerous receivers, Gilliam and Scott, time to break free.
So it's a 3rd down and 7. Johnson helped from the field. Flemish will be the lone running back behind Drew Fulmer. Slot to the near side of the field. Big call. 3rd and 7, Marauders at their own 23. Fulmer on a long count. Movement of the Millersville line. Right guard popped his head up, and that'll be a 5-yard walk-off, making it a little harder at 3rd and 12.
Frank Casciola has been a very visible figure in this game. He caught what he thought was a touchdown on a deflection, only to be ruled as downfield earlier. A heartbreaker for Millersville at the other end of the field here on this 20-yard line. He moves on a critical 3rd and 7, making it all the harder for his team to convert.
3rd and 12. Millersville back at their own 18. Slot to the near side. Homer gives the ball straight ahead to Flemish. Has the running room. Gets out to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. So they played conservatively on the 3rd and long. Not going to the air into the wind. The punt team will come on.
And the Huskies have a good chance here of getting the ball across midfield, right on the right stripe. Punt returner, imagine Toye Berry there, ready to take this one near midfield.
Brzezinski back to do the punting, standing back at his 12-yard line. Huskies don't want to jump across, so we give the Marauders a 1st down. They just needed 4. Brzezinski gets the kick away, but into the wind. It's very, very short, and it will roll dead around the 40-yard line of the Marauders. So Bloomsburg on their first second-half possession in great field position. 12:41 to go in this 3rd period. The Huskies trailing it 7-0.
They have the wind advantage, so they can pass, but they've had success with the running game. E.J. Henry with 78 yards at halftime. Marcus Glaze with 42. Both have proven rather unstoppable. The offensive line has been cutting off the ball and blowing people away. Watch for the running game, Jim.
Glaze is the tailback in the I formation. Just 14 yards in that punt by Brzezinski. Fake to Glaze. Miller back to throw. Looking for Terrell Johnson. Incomplete. Down inside the 10-yard line. So the Huskies go for all of it. Jason Matters with good coverage on Terrell Johnson.
Ball caught the wind and sailed a little bit further. There was coverage there, but Johnson seems to have position where if it's going to be a fight for the ball, he might be able to take that one away. Try to go for the big score, try to tie it up quickly. They feel that they're going to be in 4th down territory here anyway. So with 3 runs, they still should get the change.
2nd and 10 call at the 40. Miller rolls right, wants to throw again. Pump fake, looking long for Lozo. Beyond his reach, good coverage once again. Downfield by Nathan Hicks. The Huskies go long on back-to-back plays and now face a 3rd and 10.
Ball fails again just a little bit. Again, these receivers have position. Yes, there's coverage, but if the ball can be delivered on target, these receivers will fight and take it away. But it's tough to put it on target with this brisk breeze. At halftime, I was watching the flags almost blown out of the hands of those flag twirlers. It's strong.
3rd down and 10, Bloomsburg at the 40. Miller takes the snap, rolls right, fires, has his man, Forgione, makes the catch at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10, Huskies.
That's a big one. Big catch. People are going deep, taking the secondary deeper. Forgione is curling underneath just enough to get the chain. That one's rifled and nice and low, so it knights into the breeze well. Forgione with his 3rd catch of the game.
13 yards on the reception. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the Millersville 27-yard line. Huskies' deepest penetration of the ball game. The give on the plays to Marcus Glaze off the left side, has some running room, gets down to the 22, close to the 21-yard line. Great blocking off the left side. Dave Burkholder makes the stop from his linebacker position.
I expected Jim Monas to go with running plays to start the series, but he forced himself into passing downs, had to convert on 3rd. Here I think he's going to stay with the running game. He sees the end zone.
2nd and 4, Bloomsburg at the Millersville 21. Slot to the right side. Glaze, the tailback, gets the call. Big hole at the right side to the 15. Catches it at 10 and rid out of bounds at around the 8-yard line. Nathan Hicks makes the stop. The right side of that Bloomsburg line opened up a huge hole for Marcus Glaze.
Manny Henry, Jeff Smith, huge hole is right. Penetration comes upfield. They let that man run up there. And then there's a huge lane inside as the offensive line dominates. Tremendous lane. Just a decision for Glaze whether to break it inside or outside to go for the end zone.
13 yards on that carry. 1st and goal, Bloomsburg at the Millersville 8. Glaze, the tailback in the eye. Miller's back to throw. He fires. Has a man down at the 1-yard line. Eric Miller on the run hits Terrell Johnson. 2nd down and goal. Huskies at the 1. Jason Matters makes the stop.
Yeah, just kept him out of the end zone. Looks like he'd catch it and turn on in, but just shy of the goal line.
Huskies knock it on the door after that 7-yard reception to Terrell Johnson. Now Glaze, the tailback in the eye. Lexbaler blocking back on the right side. Glaze gets the call off the right side and gets him for the touchdown. Marcus Glaze in for the score. The Huskies are within a point.
Powerful blocking right up the middle. Matt Russell, Matty Henry drive their men back into the end zone. Marcus Glaze is not touched until he's inside there. So effortless running for the running back as there is no interference because of the dominant performance of the lineman in front of him.
Marcus Glaze with his 12th rushing touchdown of the season. Now the all-important extra point out of Chris Thompson. 28 for 32 on the season. Mike Loco will do the holding. Matt Vinson with the snap. The snap is there, the placement. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field. 10:58 to go in the third quarter. Play with the score. Bloomsburg 7 and Millersville 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you very much, Dave. Right here, Millersville and Bloomsburg locked in a 7-7 tie. The Huskies' first possession of the second half. A 7-play, 40-yard scoring drive. Marcus Glaze in from the 1 to cap it. And Chris Thompson follows with the extra point. Bloomsburg with the big wind advantage in this quarter. Zach Quigley kicked it through the end zone. His first try of the quarter. He'll try to do it again. Dondre Gilliam deep. Quigley's kick very, very high. Gilliam will back, and it's 8 yards deep and through once again. The Marauders will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line with a score tie.
Steven's going to have to try to run the ball. John Flamish is in that backfield looking strong. Ali Johnson, who got the start at tailback on the last series, did twist an ankle and had to be helped off. So a team that needs to run because it's going to be difficult passing into this wind might be a bit depleted in the backfield.
1st and 10 for the Marauders. Flamish is the lone running back behind quarterback Drew Fulmer. Gilliam is wide to the right side. Flemish gets the call, breaks into the secondary, has room, gets out to the 27-yard line. And boy, Gilliam took a swing at Luke Murray, an official looking right there. The Huskies coaching staff screaming at the official.
They are, and they're letting him know. How could you look at that and not see it? Danny Hale all over him. I did not see it. I was watching the play. Just a little bit away from the play, but yes, you don't want to see anything unsportsmanship like that going on.
That could be not only 15 yards, but an ejection as well. It is nothing. And Millersville has a 2nd down and 3. Drew Fulmer gives to Flemish. Flemish again, big hole. Breaks into the secondary, still on his feet out to the 38-yard line. And Gilliam again takes a block after the play and now getting a warning. Well, Bloomsburg's very sensitive to this because they had a game a couple weeks back against East Stroudsburg when a player was ejected for a lot less than Gilliam has done in the last 2 plays.
That's right. Playing very, very physically. Flamish is certainly showing the strong running of physical play. The stuff after the whistle, there's no point in that.
11 yards for Flamish. 1st and 10 Marauders at the 38-yard line. Long count by Flamish. Fulmer gives to Flamish and another big gain out to the 43-yard line. I say this is a huge moment in the ball game because you would think that Bloomsburg has all the momentum. Very big for Millersville, especially going into the wind. To come out and establish a ground game, they are doing just that and riding that big number 6, John Flamish, 230-pound senior. He'll get a breather now. Ali Johnson was shaken up earlier, comes in.
Be a breather for the Huskies to give him a breather. He's an impact player.
2nd and 4. Johnson is the lone running back. Millersville from their own 44. Play action. Fulmer back. Has time. Wide open is the tight end Austin inside the Bloomsburg 30-yard line. Beautifully done by Drew Fulmer.
Really, really was. With the change of running backs, I anticipated pass. Quarterback drops back, has a lot of time because of play action, the successful runs previously. Drills it down the middle to the tight end. The dangerous wide receivers have the safeties occupied. A lot of room in the middle of the field. That's a huge gain by the tight end, Craig Austin.
So Millersville coming right back at Bloomsburg. 1st and 10 at the 27. 29 yards on that carry. Flamish is the lone running back. And Fulmer fumbles the snap, but is able to get on it right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even picked up a yard or 2. straight ahead. He won't make many mistakes. I'm not saying that's one of his. Might have been the center.
Yeah, it seemed the snap came back a little bit late. Everyone's moving forward. Quarterback's moving backward. The ball's not there. No, he's Mr. Automatic. He's cool back there. Great arm, great decision-making. Sets his team well. The leader on the field. Type of guy you'd like to play for, Drew Fulmer.
2nd and 9, Marauders. Fulmer did get a yard out of that at the Bloomsburg 26-yard line. Fake to Flemish. Fulmer back to throw. He's going to run with the football, and he slides down to the 23-yard line. Slipped a bit as he went back and planted, and then realized he'd better scramble for what he could get. He gets 3. It's 3rd and 6.
Yeah, nice decision. He couldn't plant, plus stuff throwing into the wind, plus the Huskies have the receivers covered. So he steps forward to not take the loss and find some nice positive yards. They're in a situation here with the strong running we've seen out of Flemish. They might give him 2 pops to get to the chains.
Slot to the right side. Flemish, the lone running back, from the 23-yard line. 3rd down call for the Marauders. Fulmer back to throw, fires a quick out, diving catch and a 1st down. Henry makes the catch down the 16-yard line. First catch of the day for number 3, Dwight Henry, a junior from Bishop McDevitt. They mark it at the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 for Millersville.
Just enough for the change. The other receivers take people deep into the end zone, clearing the zone. Henry curls on back. Fulmer drills it to him nice and low, so there's no potential for the interception. New set of downs.
Clock running, 6:55 to go, 3rd quarter. Score tied at 7, but Millersville threatening. Slots to the near side of the field. Fulmer with an I formation behind him. Takes to Flemish, back to throw, fires over the middle, making the catch inside the 10-yard line, down to the 8-yard line is Sean Scott.
Tough to stop them. They're spreading the field with 4 receivers every play. Quarterback quickly in his drop, scanning and then rifling the ball in. This one just downfield about 7 or 8 yards. Scott curling over the middle, catches it, and then goes on down.
This is a beautiful drive by Millersville, the kind of drives that championships are made on. Bloomsburg tied it, appeared to have the momentum. Millersville drives it right down their throats, 8 yards away from taking the lead. Johnson, the tailback in an offset I. Fulmer play action, back to throw, fires it away as Matt Keys was in pursuit, so he just throws it away. Boy, you talk about a quarterback as a decision maker. Drew Fulmer must make about 99% right decisions.
The field presence, the knowledge of the game, the knowledge of down and distance, of knowing when you can and when you can't take that sack, how much time you're going to have. He rolled to the right. Pressure was on him. Actually, I saw a little bit of a grab of a jersey. There might have been more of a pressure of a sack. Millersville blocks with the hands out. They use that technique of getting them out, and they use it well.
3rd and 2, huge call. Johnson gets it off the left side, hit hard, gets ahead. I don't know. Depend on the spot. I think he's going to come up a little bit short, but Millersville will probably go for it regardless.
It would be the situation. They've struggled with the field goals, and those points aren't nearly as much as the 7 points the touchdown would get, especially going into the wind. Are they going to bring the chains across and measure? They're not even measuring, Jim. 4th and a sure yard to go.
4th down and 1. Now, Millersville has missed 2 field goals going this direction. This would be a chip shot, but they're not taking any chances. 4th and 1, they're going for it. Huge call from the Bloomsburg 7. Johnson, the tailback of the eye. Flemish gets the call. John Flemish running hard. Bloomsburg knocks him back. Let's see where they spot the ball. If they give him forward progress, he has the 1st and goal.
Yeah, he had trouble with the exchange. The ball wasn't in there, but great blocking on the right side creates an interference. And even as it doesn't have the ball tucked in neatly, he gets himself to the 5-yard line before being pushed back. So they will signal that 1st and goal now, Jim, as they award the 1st down.
And as important is the fact that Millersville is 5 yards away from the lead. Again, playing ball control in a quarter where Bloomsburg has the wind at their backs. Johnson, the tailback in the eye. Millersville 5 yards away from the lead. Play action, rolling left as Fulmer fires to the end zone, knocked down incomplete. It was intended in the deep end zone for Rich Tucholsky, number 88.
I think he just missed it, Jim. I think the wind took it a little bit. He mistimed the jump because the wind held it up. I think it should have been caught. The question is, would he stay in the end zone or would he go down beyond that end line? But he must have catch at the last minute. Nice waggle action, throwing the pass rush off a little bit. Quarterback Fulmer buys time, but the wind takes that and twists it awkwardly.
2nd and goal, Millersville. 3 receivers to this, the near side. Flamish is the lone running back from the Bloomsburg 5-yard line. Fulmer gives the ball to Flamish, tries the middle. Jeremiah Dyer is there. Flamish gets away and gets to the 1-yard line. Oh, he is so tough to bring down. This is one of the few games all season long where Bloomsburg has had real problems with a running back. And Flamish comes up limping, but what an effort he made. As Dyer had him at the line of scrimmage, instead he gets to the 2-yard line where it's 3rd and goal.
Dyer had him, but hit him at the angle. He's holding him back, and he's waiting for some help, but no one ever comes. And Flamish just is a rhinoceros, forcing his way ahead. Could have been stopped on the 4, but there he is inside the 2.
3rd down and goal. Johnson, the tailback in the eye. Fulmer gives to Johnson, goes in without a Husky touching him, and Millersville has the lead. That young line for the Marauders shredded the Huskies off the right side, and they have taken the lead on a gorgeous drive of 80 yards.
They're fronting their people, creating the line, and whether it be Flamish with his run, or in this case, it's Johnson with the run. He does go in untouched, somewhat surprised to have that little resistance to me. But credit the offensive linemen for fronting their men and making the seam.
Millersville has 3 freshmen on the offensive front, and oh, are they playing a game. Rzuski's extra point is up, and the kick is good, and the Marauders have come back. 4:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Millersville 14, Bloomsburg 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. If the Marauders of Millersville win the PSAC championship with a win today, they will look at the drive just completed with pride. Bloomsburg had just scored to tie it. All the momentum on the Husky side, all the wind on the Husky side. Drew Fulmer, an outstanding quarterback, directs his team on a 14-play, 80-yard scoring drive. 14-7 is the Bloomsburg hole. The kick comes up short, taken by one of the Husky up men, and squirts out to the 45-yard line. So Rzuski did not try to kick long into this wind, and he'll give up excellent field position as a result. Bloomsburg at their own 45-yard line.
You squib it along the ground, you at least want to find a lane and get it deeper downfield. He hits it right at a man who's on the 40. Man kind of goes down to need a block if it doesn't have possession, picks it up and runs with it. This is nice field position. The Huskies with about 4 minutes left in the win advantage.
Bloomsburg at their own 45-yard line. I formation behind quarterback Eric Miller. He gives the ball to Marcus Glaze, and Glaze with a big hole down near the 35-yard line of Millersville. So we're looking for the Huskies to pass. Perhaps Millersville was as well. Glaze with a huge hole to the 35.
I think it's a question of physical dominance. You were just sort of pounded a little bit by Millersville, who took it on you physically. You might want to get some of that physical dominance back with your offensive line.
1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the 35-yard line. Glaze again off the right side. Marcus Glaze to the 29-yard line. Picks up 6. 2nd and 4. Matt Shields on the stop. Clock running with 3:28 to go in this 3rd quarter. Bloomsburg with the wind at their back, but 2 good runs by Glaze. Has the ball at the Millersville 29-yard line. Huskies come to the line of scrimmage without a huddle. Johnson wide to the right. I formation. Werner ahead of Glaze. From the 29, Werner gets a call. Inside the 25, to the 20, to the 15, and Doug Werner down to the 13-yard line. Caleb Smith makes the stop. The longest run of the season for Doug Werner prior to that was 8 yards. He gets 16 there, 1st and 10 at the 13.
Big runs. Watch him keep going with it. No huddle again.
Johnson wide to the right. Loco wide left. Miller gives the ball to Glaze, tries the right side, cuts down for a loss in the play. Making the stop is Jamal Lee, 260-pound junior. Well, when you have a running drive going, 1 loss, you drop it back. There's the loss, 2nd and 11 for Bloomsburg at the 14-yard line. 2:35 to go in this 3rd quarter. Huskies trailing it by 7. Mike Loco wide to the left side. I formation, Glaze at the tail of the tandem. Second down call from the 14. Miller gives the ball to Glaze, sweeping the left side, cuts it into the 10, to the 5, and down to the 4-yard line. Marcus Glaze on a sweep to the left, close to the first down yardage.
Beautiful, beautiful run. He got great blocking out of his tight end, Brian Sullivan. At first, it looked like he was going to be able to take it wide and race to the pylon, but a man got in that area. So Sullivan fronts him and just keeps taking him wide. Glaze cuts it inside and brings it down close.
3rd and 1, Bloomsburg at the 5-yard line. I formation. Miller gives the ball to Glaze. Hit behind the line. Huge loss back to the 8-yard line. Millersville comes up with a huge defensive play at the worst possible time for the Huskies. Matt Shields comes in. Bloomsburg has the field goal unit set to come on. Let's see. Yes, they'll come on. Oh, did Shields make a play? Bloomsburg marching downfield without resistance. Shield then comes up with a huge play, and the Huskies will have to settle for a 3-point attempt.
Tough play. They're trying to cross the line of scrimmage, and penetration came and knocked the sweep down. We have a penalty flag in the end zone, Jim. That matters a lot. It might be too many people on the field. If that's the case, it should be a first down for the Huskies, is it?
Now they're indicating timeout, Millersville.
Before or after the flag? Oh. Timeout, no penalty.
Well, we'll keep it right here and see what they're going to do, because they definitely threw the flag.
Well, it wasn't snapped. The man is counting. I don't think the offense was set. I'm not sure of the rules. He might have thrown the flag too soon, and the timeout did come. We're seeing some change in personnel from Millersville, but boy, that would have given the Huskies a much better opportunity, if not the first down.
Andy, that was a huge play by Shields.
He came through. He really did. The Huskies wanted to sweep to the right. They had wonderful success in sweeping to the left on the previous series. This time they want to sweep to the right, hoping for the same success, but the penetration comes right up the middle and catches the tailback as he goes from left to right. There wasn't much the runner can do. It's just that people were allowed to sift on in. That great penetration by Shields coming from the linebacker position on the blitz is a big play.
The hold by Lelko will be at the 14-yard line. So this is going to be a 24-yard field goal attempt by Chris Thompson with the wind at his back to try to cut into that lead. The snap is high. The placement is up. The kick is off to the right. Hit the upright to the right side. And Millersville is fired up, and why not? They have the lead, and they're going to have a huge wind advantage for the rest of this game when the 1:08 of this third quarter wraps up.
They certainly will get the advantage at that position, but they've had an advantage working into the run. They have a rejuvenated running game. They've been going into the wind without a whole lot of problem. And to be able to hold the Huskies after the Huskies have that dominating drive, just ripping through them all the way down to the red zone. But a big defensive stop, and then the Huskies missed the field goal. Ball comes back out to the 20-yard line after the missed field goal attempt. They'll be cautious here. They'll take a few running plays and then get that win for the fourth quarter.
Millersville from their own 20-yard line just can run out this third quarter clock. They'll take a lead into the fourth quarter with that big wind advantage. Flamish gets the call. Running over the Huskies out to the 25. 5 Huskies have to bring him down. He still gets 6 yards. Boy, we have seen John Flamish do something that has not been done to this proud Bloomsburg defense all season long. Just overpower them.
He's physical. They're giving him a little bit of a seam, and he's able to pick the one that he likes. And then when Tack was trying to come up and stop him, he just keeps pulling ahead and pulling ahead. He has that great attitude that he cannot be stopped, and he just keeps pushing for additional yardage.
Second down and 5, perhaps the last play of this third quarter. The give is to Johnson. He's got running room off the right side. Cut down over the open field at the 28. Jeremiah Dyer makes the stop. Well, you have to give credit to this Millersville offensive front. Redshirt freshman, true freshman, and pushing around a Bloomsburg defense that's the #1 rated in the entire conference.
They have been strong, and they've dominated, and they'll have more an advantage when the passing is able to be balanced better when they have the wind. And here we go into the fourth quarter, Jim.
If Bloomsburg's hopes for a championship are not dashed today, it'll take a dramatic comeback for the Huskies because Millersville has the lead and the big wind advantage. We're 3 quarters in the books here. Millersville 14, Bloomsburg 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Redmond Stadium, Bloomsburg, 15 minutes away from seeing all their hopes in this tremendous season dashed. They trail Millersville 14-7. Huskies with some major disappointments in that third quarter. 3rd down and 1 at the Marauder 5-yard line. They come away with no points. And now a big call coming. Millersville moving from left to right with the wind at their back. They have it at their own 28, 3rd down and 2. Drew Fulmer just pointed out something to the official.
Might have been the 25-second clock. Should be reset to start this quarter. They might have started a bit soon.
Yeah, he's on top of everything.
Is he ever?
3rd down and 2. Millersville's had a lot of success running against Bloomsburg today. But Fulmer's going to throw for this one. Sean Scott drops the football. Oh, the Huskies catch a break there. Scott, the all-time leading receiver in the history of Millersville, drops one right in his hands at the 30-yard line. The Huskies will get the ball.
With the wind advantage, you still have to respect his speed on 3rd and short. He still can go for the bomb to try to, really separate this on the scoreboard. So he runs a quick look in, is curling underneath enough to get the chains and drops it.
Brzezinski with a chance to boom a punt with the wind at his back. Into the wind, he had a 14-yarder in that 3rd quarter. Gets this kick away, not particularly long. Buried at the 35, muffs the football, then picks it up, tries to break it outside, and is dragged down at the 37-yard line. Coming in to make the play for the Marauders is Jason Matters. So Bloomsburg will get it for their first possession of this final period. Huskies trailing at 14-7. They have to be frustrated. Last time they moved the ball as well as you could expect to move it on the ground and came away with nothing.
But they still can move it on the ground, Jim, so the wind isn't that big of a disadvantage. They've been pretty much shredding this with the tailbacks. Glaze and E.J. Henry both approaching 100-yard games.
Aristine Henry now is the tailback in the I formation. Give to him on the delay. Has some room over the 40. Hit hard at the 45-yard line. Nice tackle in the open field by Talib Smith, the strong safety. But 8 yards for Aristine Henry. Well, the Huskies are probably going to win the statistical war, but that's not the war they want to win this afternoon.
No, an awful lot with field position and advantage, and you need to get it in once you are inside the red zone, and that does matter. The defense is coming up big when they need to come up big.
2nd down and 2. Bloomsburg from the 45. Straight ahead with Jamison McLaughlin, the 1st down, and then some down to the Millersville 41-yard line. The fullback straight ahead. Nick Reynolds makes the stop for Millersville.
But the offensive line is making the seams no matter who is running this ball. Just mix and match left, right, up the middle. The Huskies are dominating that line of scrimmage and moving it in big chunks. They like to continue to do so, throwing occasional passes to keep the secondary honest.
13 yards for Jamison McLaughlin. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg. At the Millersville 42-yard line. Millersville showing blitz. Long count, Eric Miller gives the ball to Aristine Henry inside the 35. Stuck hard in the open field at the 33-yard line. Braden Steffi, the free safety, makes the stop. But again, a good surge by that front. And Henry will pick up 9, 2nd down and 1.
Running game keeps the ball out of Millersville's hands while it's eating up chunks of yardage. You have E.J. Henry with 96 yards, Marcus Glaze with 95 yards. So very successful running by the tailbacks.
Mike Loco has been quiet today. He's off to the left side. From the 32-yard line, McLaughlin the call. Shields makes the play. Very short gain. Boy, Millersville just comes up with the play when they need to defensively.
They do, but they might have to measure this. Depends on the spot. Did he get enough to get the chain? That's all the Huskies really wanted. They spot it and take a look. They might have to bring this over for a measurement. They are signaling for that timeout. Even if they don't get it, it'll be 3rd and 1, and the Huskies are in the situation, I think, where whether it be 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, they're going to go straight ahead and try to power this. It's up to those seniors in that front to make it happen. This is their game. They've been playing dominatingly. They need to do it consistently. They have to avoid any type of turnover, avoid any type of penalty, things that plagued them in the first half. Stretching the chains, and it looks just inches short, about 4 inches short. I wouldn't take this wide. They saw penetration. Millersville likes to gamble and come with linebackers, so you don't want to suffer any potential loss. So pound it straight ahead up the middle, whether you go with the quarterback sneak or go with the running back. But go north and south. If you don't get it, go for it on 4th down. You have to make it happen.
Yeah, on 3rd down and 1 at the 5 of Bloomsburg's previous possession, 5 yards away from the tying score. They elected to go wide, and Matt Shields made a terrific play from his linebacker position.
Understandable. They had so much success on the sweeping actions, but the danger is there of being caught in your own backfield, and the loss killed them.
3rd down, inches, quarterback keeper by Miller off the right side for the 1st down.
Yeah, Manny Henry. You run behind Manny Henry. Eric Miller will tell you he likes to do that. He'll come out on the quarterback sneak. He'll look to see if there's a natural seam, something left open. But if not, he's going to just bubble over one man and use the power of Manny Henry. He knows that he's going to get a surge, and he certainly did there. That moves the chains.
1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the Millersville 31-yard line. 12:36 to go in the football game. Huskies trailing by 7. Henry is the tailback in the I formation, slot to the near side of the field. Eric Miller under center. Takes the snap, gives to Aristine Henry. Hit behind the line. There's the big loss. You just keep waiting for it to happen. It's happened all afternoon. Justin LaManna makes the stop. Bloomsburg moves the ball and moves the ball and moves the ball, seemingly at will, and then somewhere along the way, Millersville gets the big play they need, and now the Huskies in a 2nd and 13 hole.
Formation was set to the left. Wide side of the field was to the left. The Huskies decide to go short side, and often you can catch a team with that. But not Justin LaManna. He's made big plays throughout this game.
2nd down call. Miller back to throw. Fires, has Johnson, and Johnson out of bounds at the 20-yard line for a 1st down. Terrell Johnson. Good throw by Eric Miller on the roll left.
Was a beautiful throw. Knifing it into the wind, going wide. It has to traverse the field about 20 yards, but Miller puts the extra zip needed. Johnson runs the good square out pattern, able to lose that defender, and that gets the chains. Now he can go back to the running game for the Huskies.
15 yards on the reception by Terrell Johnson. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the Millersville 19-yard line. Slot to the right side, I formation. Aristine Henry at the tail of the tandem. Miller gives the ball to Henry, has some running room inside the 15, but there's a flag. There is a flag as he gets to the 13.
Thrown by the umpire with authority right on top of a Husky lineman. There's the hold. It took her about 3 yards downfield, and it didn't seem like it was one that opened the seam.
It seems like just one of those afternoons when Bloomsburg drives, you keep waiting. You keep waiting for the wrong thing to happen. Last possession, it was the loss on 3rd and 1. This time, it's the hole that's going to put the Huskies in a huge hole.
Yes, it will. In a situation, the wind makes it difficult to pass. You're now going to have to pass into the wind. Huskies haven't done much with sprint draw. They might go with that. It still is 1st down. But the Huskies have to make up a good 20 yards to get to the chains now.
1st down and 20, Bloomsburg. Back at the 29. Miller rolls right, steps up into it, throwing long downfield for Lelko, incomplete in a double coverage. Boy, what a job Millersville's done on Ron Lelko.
Well, Millersville and the wind, you take away any deep threat, you just can't throw deep with the wind. So whether you go single coverage or double coverage, you play him up tight against the short receptions, and you have to throw that ball a long ways, just sideways, to run the out. So he has been taken out of the game. Only one catch, that being a 7-yarder in the 1st quarter of the game. 2nd and 20, Bloomsburg. Try to overcome that huge penalty. One of the number of big mistakes by the Huskies today. 3 receivers to the right side. Aristine Henry gets it on a draw. Hit, bounces away. Gets inside the 25, down to about the 23. He'll pick up only 6. They'll bring up 3rd and 14. Nick Reynolds and Jamal Lee make the stop. Expected to see some of the sprint draw, and it's a nice game, but not enough. Of course, the Huskies will have 2 downs to go for this. I don't think you'd see any field goal attempt into the wind, not from this distance. So consider 2 more plays, whether it be pass or run. Eric Miller in shotgun, tipping the hand of pass. 3rd and 14 at the 23. Miller has the snap, back to throw, fires too high. Ooh. Intended for Forgione. Forgione wants the penalty. Coaching staff wants the penalty. I want the penalty. There is none. Yeah, there was one. The flag never came. The ball was thrown high, but the ball hung in the air. I think that the corner had the timing right on a standard pass. If that's thrown with the proper zip, if the wind doesn't take it, he's tackling when the ball would hit the receiver in the hand. But the wind makes it sail a little high and delays it, so the corner is hitting him before he has a chance to catch the ball. I'd have thrown the flag.
Now really desperation time. 4th and 14 Bloomsburg from their 23. Miller sees a snap go by, but a flag down the play.
Movement before that, Jim, which way is critical. If it's against Millersville, that would play into the Huskies' hands. If not, and it's not, it's against the Huskies, it's going to be 5 yards further back.
It's been a game of mistakes, and Bloomsburg has made the most of them. Millersville has made precious few. And now, if Bloomsburg doesn't get the first down, they're going to give up pretty good field position to Millersville with the win. 10:48 to go. Huskies trail it by 7. Boy, go back to that penalty. Bloomsburg with a 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line, and they get a big gain.
With the running game able to go so well, you're going to get 3 to 5 yards every carry the way it's been going. Only the penalty could stop you.
Desperation time. Miller back, looking. Now here comes the rush. He scrambles. He throws. Johnson's open at the 5 and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Eric Miller finds Terrell Johnson, gets out of bounds. 1st and goal, Bloomsburg.
The threat of the run broke the coverage. Eric Miller in shotgun is scanning the field and nothing's there. As he rolls to the left, he starts attacking the line of scrimmage and people break out of coverage. Johnson continues toward the end zone. Only his momentum prevents the touchdown. He's running hard, makes the catch, and goes out of bounds right about the 1-yard line. A huge play.
They mark it at the 2. 26 yards on a 4th and 19. Henry is the tailback in the eye. He gets the call off the right side in for the touchdown. Aristide Henry in off the right side. The Huskies are within a point.
Huge momentum has really turned. The Huskies combat the wind. They combat their own mistakes, and they make it happen. Eric Miller bought himself time on the previous play with a roll, and then as he thinks of running and he attacks the line of scrimmage, he breaks the coverage and finds Terrell Johnson rolling to the left and throwing in that direction. Comes up with a huge play that sets up the touchdown dive right there by Aristide Henry.
Chris Thompson to attempt the extra point to try to tie it. Mike Welko will hold. Snap is there, placement's there, kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field. 10:27 to go in the football game. Bloomsburg 14, Millersville 14. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you very much, Dave. Right here, Bloomsburg has completed a 12-play, 63-yard scoring drive. Aristide Henry in for the 2-yard line for the score. Chris Thompson follows with the extra point. We're tied at 14 with 10:27 to play. But now the wind comes into play. Bloomsburg kicking into that stiff breeze. Millersville figures to get good field position as freshman Zach Quigley will kick it off for the Huskies. His kick is a low line drive kick that will bounce inside the 20, picked up by Gilliam there. To the 25, Dondre Gilliam knocked back at about the 31-yard line. Ron Smith among the people that are on the play for the Huskies. Derek Williams down there as well.
Line drive by design. He doesn't want to put it high in the air where it's just going to blow on back. So he line drives it, and it's a short return. So not a bad situation for the Huskies. You couldn't expect much better field position than this.
1st and 10 for Millersville at their 31-yard line. The wind at their back. John Flamish, the lone running back. Fulmer, the quarterback, fakes to Flamish, back to throw, dumps a pass, wide open out here. Saholski, the tight end, first down at the 44. Rudy Garcia on the play.
So many problems in the passing game for the Huskies. You have to cover the very dangerous wideouts in Scott and Gilliam. That when you break a different man out and then bend him underneath, he's going to be open. So they quickly move the chains on their first play.
13 yards to Tucholsky. Boy, Millersville has shown a championship attitude today. They've answered every time. They've come up with a big drive every time, and Drew Fulmer is the man as he gives to Flamish. And what a hit by Roskis right about the line of scrimmage. Greg Roskis coming hard from his linebacker position, put a real hit on John Flamish, who gets up gingerly. It'll be second down. They give a half yard in the play.
Yeah, came in hard from the side, and the Huskies need some physical plays. They need some big stops. They'd like to force a turnover. But Millersville doesn't have many turnovers. On the season, the giveaway takeaway ratio is at a -7. So they're strong in that department. They don't lose the football.
Second down and 9 for the Marauders. Flemish again, the lone running back. Fulmer has the snap, play action. He's back to throw, plants the feet, pump fake, throws it high, and Scott makes the catch at the Bloomsburg 44. Bloomsburg screaming that he was out of bounds. They would know it was right at their sideline.
Line judge had a pretty good view of it, though, and he came running up to make that spot. You only need to get 1 foot down. He's very tall at 6'3". He goes up, is able to get that toe in before going out of bounds in the eyes of the official.
That was a big-time play. The Marauders are coming back again. Bloomsburg, when they tied the score, Millersville came right back to take the lead. Now Bloomsburg has tied it. Here come the Marauders at the Bloomsburg 44-yard line. Fulmer from shotgun. Slot to the left side. Has the snap. Flags fly. Blowing the play dead.
Yeah, I thought Millersville moved. They're running a reverse on that play. I think the Huskies may have smelled it out. They wanted to bring D'Andre Gilliam from his receiver position and come in motion. But they weren't quite set. A little bit of a flinch on the inside. And it's a good play to tip your hand, because now that you showed you were willing to do it, you probably won't go to it again. You lose all aspects of surprise by showing the beginnings of that particular action.
First and 15, Millersville at the Bloomsburg 49. 8:06 to go in the football game. Score tied at 14. Slot to the left side. Scott is wide to the right. Fulmer from shotgun has the snap. Pitches it inside to Gilliam. He turns the corner. Has room at the 40. To the 30, down the sideline. Still on his feet at the 10, the 5, and dances into the end zone for a touchdown. Millersville goes to the reverse. 49 yards. The Marauders come right back at the Huskies.
Yes, they don't need element of surprise. They showed the action prior to the penalty. It was obvious to everybody in the stands and the field. And then they run the exact same action, and the Huskies aren't there to stop it. They collapse the corner on the right side. Gilliam comes from flanked out on the left, takes a little shuffle pass action in the backfield, and sprints wide on the right side, dances down the sideline.
A bad snap. The scramble is on, and Bloomsburg will cover it at the 10, so Millersville does not get the extra point. 8:56 to go in the football game. Millersville 20, Bloomsburg 14. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you very much, Dave. Right here, Millersville scores on a 49-yard reverse to D'Andre Gilliam to lead Bloomsburg, but they missed the extra point. A bad snap. The lead is 6 with 8:56 to go in the football game. 20-14 at Millersville. Brzezinski kicks off, and with the wind, high and deep, and Stone will let it go 8 yards deep in the end zone. So the pressure on big time in that Bloomsburg offense as they'll take over 80 yards from the Millersville goal line. All the Huskies' dreams for this season riding perhaps on this drive with 8:50 to go.
It's a beautiful touchdown run, and give D'Andre Gilliam a lot of credit. It has to be scored as a passing play because it was shuffled ahead forward. So another touchdown pass for quarterback Drew Fulmer, but they did tip their hand on the penalty. They showed that action, and the Huskies just weren't expecting it again.
First and 10, Bloomsburg at their own 20-yard line. Miller gives the ball to Aristine. Henry's dragged down for a loss. Fumbles the football, but they rule it down. Jamal Lee on the stop. And any negative yardage on a Bloomsburg drive that you figure is going to be primarily on the ground is huge. So that's a big play by Lee. And now the referee, Bob Newberry, calling an official's timeout.
Not exactly sure why. They were looking at the clock. Looks like they're ready to start it again. Negative yards does hurt, but you just have to make it happen. The offensive line can dominate. Aristide Henry had a 100-yard game prior to that, so move him back to 98 yards on the game.
Second down and 12 for Bloomsburg. Miller drops back, dumps the pass out here, has Forgione, and he is really hitting the open field. The 22-yard line. And then Braden Steffi makes gestures toward the Bloomsburg bench after the hit. Well, Millersville right now feeling it, and this is a huge play. If Bloomsburg does not convert here, they will have to give up great field position. They'll be kicking in this strong strong wind. And Millersville will have great field position and a 6-point lead. So it's got to happen here for the Huskies. Third down at their own 23-yard line. They need 7. And Eric Miller has to throw into a stiff wind. Has the snap, rolls right, fires across his body, has a man for a first down. Big play. Rocco Forgione makes the grab.
5th catch of the game for Forgione. They've been important ones in getting to the chain. I wondered if they came up short there, Jim, if they'd even try for it on 4th down rather than punting into this stiff breeze because it's so critical. But they make the big catch on 3rd down, and it's tough throwing into that wind, but Miller knifes it in, and Forgione comes up with his 5th catch of the game.
10 yards on the reception. 1st and 10, Bloomsburg at the 33. Henry gets the call off the right side. Aristine Henry out over the 35 to about the, well, see, they're marking out the 40-yard line, so 7 yards on that surge. 2nd down and 3.
Puts him back up over 100 for the game now at 105 and going. And backfield mate Marcus Glaze, when he's in there alternating, he has 93 yards on the game.
2nd down, Bloomsburg at their own 40-yard line. 3 yards to go for a first down. Henry gets the call off the right side, has the first down, and then some over midfield to the Millersville 46-yard line. Aristine Henry with some good blocking. Tally Smith, the strong safety, makes the play for the Marauders.
He's looked like he's going to break the big one about 3 or 4 times in the course of this game. Dancing a little bit the line of scrimmage, finding to see him accelerating through, and then dancing through the field. Just one tackler left to go who brings him down.
14 yards on the carry. 1st and 10 at the 46. Miller will roll to his left, fire to the sideline beyond the reach of Mike Loco. Incomplete. Loco made a great grab. It was out of bounds at the 36. Now the Huskies will face 2nd down and 10 at the Marauder 46.
Wind takes that a little bit. Sails it just a little bit more to where Loco can't keep the inbounds position while making the catch. You do want to open it up a little bit, try to get him as part of the offense. And on a 1st down play, it's not the worst time to try. Huskies, after crossing midfield, may refuse to punt, Jim, if they get close enough for a 4th down attempt.
Now Marcus Glaze is the tailback in the I formation behind Jamison McLaughlin in the I. 2nd and 10 from the Marauder 46-yard line. Miller play action, rolls to his left, cocks the arm, fires to Loco, makes the grab, surges ahead for the first down to 35. Good second effort by Mike Loco after making the grab. Talib Smith makes the stop. Didn't have the first down at the catch, but got it ahead enough for 11 yards.
Big play in the previous series saw the action where Miller ends up bootlegging to the left and bringing the flow with him, and then he threatens to run. This time he just throws comfortably from back there, finding Loco.
1st and 10 Huskies at the Marauders 35-yard line. Miller gives the ball to Marcus Glaze, tries the right, not much doing. Gets a yard, maybe 2. Clock running. 6:54 to go in the football game. Millersville leading Bloomsburg by a score of 20-14.
Critical miss on that extra point, Jim. If the Huskies could drive this in and make the kick, that'll be a 1-point lead. So that was a huge play when Millersville comes up short on the extra point try.
2nd and 9. Bloomsburg at the 34-yard line of Millersville. Aristine Henry back in at the tailback spot. Miller back to throw, fires to the sideline. Terrell Johnson drops the football at the 28-yard line. Huge drop. Now it's 3rd and 9.
Wanted to turn and run with it, and the ball a little bit of a wobble, I believe, because of the wind. So it gets them just a little bit slower as Miller's throwing into the wind, and all the timing's thrown off. Fractions of inches matter. You want to turn, see where the tackler's coming, what yards you can get after the catch on the short pass. And there he's not able to pull it on in as the wind just throws it off slightly.
Huge call coming. 3rd and 9 Huskies at the Millersville 34. Miller from shotgun has the snap. Shuffle pass straight ahead to Aristine Henry that goes nowhere. Brought down after a gain of a yard to the 33-yard line. One of the officials, the umpire, shaking up on the play. He went down. But Millersville continually comes up with a big defensive play when they have to. And now, Bloomsburg, 4th and 8 at the 33. You'll see the Huskies going for it here as Marcus Glaze replaces Aristine Henry.
Certainly will. They'll go for it with a passing play. If not, the defense is going to have to come up big. This might be the game. Fans know it.
Well, another play of the game. We've had a number of them. 4th and 8, Bloomsburg at the 33-yard line. Slot to the right side. Miller from shotgun has the snap. Back to throw. Fires over the middle. Has Loco to the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 Huskies.
Play of the game, go to Mike Lelko. Make it happen. Go with that chemistry, with that connection. Miller to Lelko. Straight drop back on the pattern. Lelko's far to the right, but in a crossing action, he comes to the middle on a short posting pattern, catches it just enough for the chains, makes it by about a yard. Brilliant call. Brilliant catch.
4:54 to go in the football game. Bloomsburg trailing by 6. 1st and 10 at the Millersville 24-yard line. Glaze is now the tailback in the I formation. Loco wide to the right, play action. Miller back to throw into the end zone for Johnson. Makes a diving attempt and has it for the touchdown. Terrell Johnson lays out deep in the end zone. Grabs the ball. The Huskies have tied it.
Oh, what a play. There was coverage deep on Johnson, and they heave it. There was a man short, wide open in the middle, the tight end. I thought he was overthrown. Then I see Johnson diving for the ball. Did he pull it or not was our question. We are blind to it. The referees converge and notice the catch. Johnson shook himself up on the play, probably landed on the football, holds it up in the exultation of the moment. They have a momentary stoppage. Critical extra point coming up now, Jim.
Chris Thompson with a chance to give the Huskies the lead with 4:46 to go. Mike Loco will hold. Matt Vincent with a crucial snap. It's there, the placement, the kick is up, and the kick is good. It's good. 4:46 to go. Bloomsburg 21, Millersville 20. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Thank you very much, Dave. For the first time in the afternoon, the Huskies have a lead. 21-20 Bloomsburg. But 4:46 still remains to play. And the Huskies will be kicking off into the win.
How about an onside kick here, Jim?
I don't think so.
Not going to get much putting it deep. Let's see.
Last time he got pretty much out of a line drive kick. Tries it again, and this kick will go down, bounce around to the 13-yard line. Andre Gilliam takes it there, and he is buried by Jason Noble around the 20. Can't do it much better than that into the wind.
No, you can't. You can't at all. Executed perfectly, knifes it in, gets the short bounce in front of Gilliam, has trouble picking it up again. Now when he goes to run, the Huskies are swarming all over him. A lot of intense play, bit of a scuffle upfield at the end of that. Referees coming in and separating players. So both teams realize it's all here, and this drive is the one that matters. The Huskies need a stop, and they need it now.
And it won't be easy, because now is Drew Fulmer time, one of the all-time leading quarterbacks in the history of this conference at the controls. Millersville at their own 22-yard line. Play action. Fulmer's back to throw. Fires a quick out. Has his man Flamish. Flamish is met hard by Roskis at the 26-yard line. So they complete the pass, but Roskis makes him pay.
They do, and the fans appreciating the physical play, but he still gets a good 6-yard gain on that. Flamish is a tough one. Fulmer wants to throw deeper downfield, realizes it's covered, realizes he's going to run out of time. It's the safety valve receiver. And Flamish makes it nice, sure hands, gets a nice gain.
4 yards on the reception to the 26-yard line. So it's 2nd down and 6 for the Marauders. Allie Johnson, now the lone running back behind Fulmer. The Husky goes in motion to the left. Play action, back to throw as Fulmer has time, now breaks down. He's in trouble, and he will be brought down as he gets ahead for maybe a yard on the play.
He's a good runner. He saw that there wasn't much downfield that he could have. The Huskies had a lot of people in coverage. Thought he'd take it straight up the middle and make it happen with the run. But the Huskies' defensive tackles and linebackers converge very, very quickly. This is a big 3rd down play now, Jim.
I'm going to say it one more time. This is the play of the game.
This is it.
It's been one of those. Been a lot of plays in the game. 3rd down and 5. This one's huge. 3:07 to go. Bloomsburg with a 1-point lead. Marauders at their own 27. Fulmer straight drop back to throw. Dumps the pass out, incomplete. Incomplete intended for Allie Johnson. Roskis was all over the play. 4th down and 5 Marauders.
Well, you might have
2:58 to go.
You might have a play of the game again, Jim, because I don't think I'd punt this away to the Huskies. The Huskies will kill it with the ground game. I think you have to go for it 4th down here. You can't give this ball up. Are they going to take a timeout?
Looks that way. Marauders will talk about it. 2:58 to go in the ball game. Bloomsburg by 1. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Right here, Millersville, trailing Bloomsburg by 1. The Marauders 4th down and 5 at their own 27-yard line. There'll be no punt here. They are going for it. They must convert or Bloomsburg will win this football game. Slot to the right. Fulmer under center. Crowd on their feet on both sides of the field. Fulmer back to throw. Looking, fires, the ball is tipped. The ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Zach Myers got his hand on the football. Bloomsburg's got to take over. Bloomsburg's got to take over at the Millersville 27.
Whoa! It took too long. The coverage was great downfield. When Fulmer finally decides he has to pull the trigger, the people are converging on him. Zach Myers gets the hand up, and the place erupts on the Huskies sideline. Watch for the Huskies to keep it on the ground, try to make it happen, put it to those senior offensive linemen once more. You need a couple first downs. You can wrap this one up.
Glaze is the tailback in the I formation from the 27. Millersville coming on a blitz. Glaze gets off the right side and slips down to the 24-yard line. Matt Shields on the stop from his linebacker position. Millersville has 1 timeout remaining. Clock running 2:39 to go in the football game. Bloomsburg at the Marauder 24.
Eric Miller will watch that 25-second clock, try to stagger his cadence to milk as much as possible out of it. Watch for the Huskies to keep it on the ground. The next carry by Glaze should put him over 100 yards for the game to join Aristide Henry in that company.
2nd down call. Loco wide to the right. Terrell Johnson wide to the left. Miller gives straight ahead to Doug Werner. Werner has rolled inside the 15. Doug Werner down to the 13-yard line. He doesn't carry the ball much. Coming into this ball game, 8 yards was his longest run of the season, but he had a 16-yard run earlier this game, and Doug Werner, the junior from Conrad Weiser, just got 10 yards there, and Millersville will use their final timeout. We'll keep it right here.
Whoa, beautiful, beautiful run. The initial seam is there. People are focusing through the fullback into the tailback action, so the fullback takes it as if he's the blocker, and no one's there to stop him for the first 7 yards. And then he spins off that potential tackler, gets the chains and more. Millersville using their final timeout will have no way left of stopping the clock. 2 minutes and 6 seconds on that clock. Huskies have the ball spotted on the 13-yard line with the 1st and 10. I mean, you're almost at the point where the quarterback can kneel on it, and you should be able to wrap this one up. A game that's been exciting. It's been back and forth. We felt many times along the way that Millersville had every advantage with their outstanding play. But the Huskies show life, come back with a series of great plays, and they now seem destined to become the victor in this.
The ball at the Millersville 13-yard line. Bloomsburg with a 1st and 10. The give straight ahead to Doug Werner. He will not get yardage, but that's not the important thing right now. The important thing is the clock that is running, 1:57 and counting. Bloomsburg closing in on a huge victory over Millersville. Huskies will certainly break into the top 4 in that Northeast Regional. The top 4 at the end of the year goes to postseason play. And Bloomsburg in a position where they could clinch a PSAC title with a win next week at Kutztown if they can hang on here. 1:37 and counting as Eric Miller comes to the line of scrimmage. The Millersville 13. Miller gives the ball to Marcus Glaze. Glaze protecting the football straight ahead, gets to the 10-yard line.
And there's his 100-yard game by my tally, Jim. And what a tribute to the offensive line. Doesn't matter who the running back is. E.J. Henry, he'll have 119 on the game. Marcus Glaze, he'll have 100 yards on the game. But it's the offensive line that's earned it. They create the seams. They make the power. They've had fine protection for the quarterback throughout the game. Fullbacks have been popping through with big yardage as well. Said this one would come down to the offensive lines. We had a surprising performance by the Millersville offensive line with its 3 freshmen. But the Huskies dominating now.
3rd and 7, Bloomsburg at the 10. And a fumble on the play. Down at the 10-yard line, a fumble on the exchange. Let's see, Millersville indicates they have it, but the referee, Bob Newberry, has not indicated yet. The only thing that could have stopped Bloomsburg from winning this game would be a fumble, and they have fumbled. They have fumbled. They have done the one thing they didn't want to do. Millersville comes up with the ball. Ken Eckert falls on it, but just 28 seconds remain, and the Huskies lead is 1.
No timeouts, so they're going to have to go a long ways in 28 seconds with no way of stopping the clock outside of incomplete passes, which do them no good, or going out of bounds. Huskies will be in a prevent. If they get a long ways down without scoring, they could try the field goal if they can stop the clock. That could give them the win.
Drew Fulmer under center at the 11-yard line of Millersville. 28 seconds to go. Bloomsburg obviously in a prevent defense. The Huskies with a 1-point lead.
They're at least going to be in a prevent attitude. We have a stoppage for some reason, Jim, and I don't understand why there'd be a stoppage here.
They're looking up at the scoreboard. Bob Newberry's over at the sideline with the officiating crew, and they're looking up at the scoreboard. Something they don't like on the scoreboard.
I believe it says 28 seconds. Hard to see with the sun shining on it. The 25-second clock is accurate. I'm going to put a few more seconds on.
And I think they're indicating up to the press box that they need 5 more seconds.
They made it 35 seconds. That's a big change. That's 2 more plays for Millersville.
The Marauders have it at their own 11-yard line with 35 seconds to go in this football game, and the Bloomsburg lead is 1. Fulmer back to throw. Fires to the far side, has a man, the completion out of bounds to the 20-yard line as the pass was completed to Calvin Everett, a sophomore out of Harrisburg, and the clock will stop with 28 seconds to go.
Out 11 yards as he catches and runs out of bounds. Don't know if it was worth the time to take that, but you got to work up in chunks as you can get it. They'll look downfield and then throw it to the sidelines when they have to. But again, even if they throw it deep down the middle and get it to midfield, they have no way of stopping the clock.
28 seconds remaining. Fulmer out of shotgun from the 21, has the snap, back to throw, hit as he gets it away, long downfield to Gilliam, incomplete. Terrific coverage by Rudy Garcia and Toye Berry. 23 seconds to go.
Throwing up, the ball's hanging in the wind. Of course, anyone going deep, the safeties will cheat over to help the cornerbacks into coverage deep. There's going to be some bumping, but Gilliam doing as much of the pushing and shoving as the Huskies as the ball hangs up there.
Second down call. Millersville at their own 21-yard line. 23 seconds to go in the football game. Bloomsburg with a 1-point lead. Sean Scott in a slot to the right side. Fulmer from shotgun has the snap. Looking to throw. Far side, nothing there. Incomplete. And he was harassed by Fran Greger. He just got the ball away. Aaron Ford is there as well. 17 seconds to go in the game. 3rd and 10, Millersville at their 21.
Yeah, they have to get the chains. They have to get field position. They have to get the score. They have only 17 seconds to do it. Tough to say what to do. You might risk one down the middle now. If you get enough for the change, at least have the momentary stoppage.
Slot to the right side. Gilliam wide to the left. Fulmer back to throw, 3rd and 10. Looking long down the far side of the field, overthrows. The closest man there, Dondre Gilliam. So it's come down to this. 4th down calls. Zach Myers, who had that huge defensive play for Bloomsburg on Millersville's last possession, batting down the 4th down play, is in there defensively. 4th down, 11 seconds to go in the football game.
Yeah, they could get the change, but then they'd only get one more play. So watch for something deep again. And the wind is not helping the quarterback any with accuracy. It's carrying it, keeping it high in the air where the secondary can react.
Mike Madera in at a wide receiver, 3 receivers to this side. Fulmer back, looking long. The ball hangs up. Battle for the football, tipped and picked off by Trent Flick. Flick at the 40, Flick at the 45, Flick at midfield, down the sideline, the 40, ridden out of bounds at the 35. The game is over. The game is over. Bloomsburg has won it. The final score, Bloomsburg 21, Millersville 20. Back with the scoring and statistics in 60 seconds. Very close now to a PSAC Eastern Division title. Huskies winning in dramatic fashion here today by a final score of 21-20. Trent Flick, as a senior, and a final play of this football game, his final play in a Husky uniform as far as Redmond Stadium is concerned, picks off the desperation pass of Drew Fulmer, runs it into Bloomsburg territory, and the Huskies have the victory by a score of 21-20. The wrap-up in this ball game, Bloomsburg took off from the opening kickoff and moved the ball very well, driving to the Millersville 33-yard line. But on a 4th down and 2 play, Marauders came up with a big defensive play, stopping Marcus Glaze short. And Millersville took over the football. On the Huskies' next possession, Millersville came up with a big defensive play. Jamal Lee hit Bloomsburg quarterback Eric Miller from behind, causing a fumble. Mike Zellner picked up the fumble, and the Millersville linebacker returned to the 5-yard line of the Huskies. 2 plays later, Allie Johnson went in for the score. And there is